I mean, am I like free to leave or?
I asked if
you didn't ask. You put. You let me find out, or you show me something that you can legally take my phone and you don't have a search warrant yet. You do that.
We're being video recorded.
I understand, but could you show me that, sir? Because that feels like that's kind of a little unconstitutional.
And if that's the case, that can be something that you can bring up.
Oh, that sounds unconstitutional.
We're going to go and hold on to this phone.
Are you taking my drink? What in the world?
So Letecia Stauch's first video interview, it took place less than 48 hours after Gannon Stauch, her stepson, was reported missing on January 27th, 2020. So this interview took place Wednesday, January 29th, 2020. It was supposed to begin at 10 a.m., but of course Letecia was late with plenty of excuses, and she got there at noon. The entire interview is 4 hours and 19 minutes long and 26 seconds apparently, even though it should be a little bit shorter in court because they scrubbed through certain dead sections. Letecia, of course, is mainly focused on herself, and the interview turns pretty raucous towards the end, and we still have to see the next hour. Today I'm filming this Thursday, April 13th. I'm about to play the entire interview portions we saw in court yesterday, Wednesday, April 12th. We'll have to finish it. We'll see the final hour, less than an hour, we hope, Friday, April 14th. It's the first video interview where Letecia actually came in, and it's a really nice interrogation room. She should be pretty happy they got her in a place so nice. It has a couch, it has carpets. She's spinning this long tail. First of all, the first thing we see are that the cops are really nice to her, despite what Letecia claimed about not getting any food or water. The first thing she gets is a Hot Pocket pizza pocket. She gets a Coke. She asks for diet. They're hunting all over, they said, but they had a regular Coke for her. They are pampering her. So this is when Letecia starts spinning that tale about the long hike at the Garden of the Gods that actually happened on Sunday, January 26th. She gets into the whole carpet burn. I still don't know what happened with that candle and carpet and everything because Letecia lies so much. She goes through, whereas a normal person would just answer a question. Yes, there was a fire. Gannon lit a candle, there was a fire, the carpet burned, and this happened. No, this interview is so long because Letecia is known for her much speaking. She thinks because she's talking so much about nothing that it'll make herself seem more truthful, but it doesn't. It backfires. The cops start applying for search warrants to take evidence off of her body because she claims that the next day, that Monday, after the carpet burn incident, she took Gannon all these places. He stayed home. Allegedly, he wasn't feeling well. I really bet he wasn't after what she's accused of doing to him. She claims she drove around eventually and met some Hispanic person, Eduardo, and she's going to say, it's not that I have anything against Hispanics, people think I look Hispanic, on and on and on. Some of the audio is really hard to hear. Some of it is because of her cadence and probably done by design. There's a lot of confusion in her answers. So she claims she met some Eduardo guy who agreed for $50 to bring over this carpet roll and fix her carpet, but little did she know, when she got back home with Gannon and put on her Beats headphones, she's very label focused. She talks about the types of sunglasses she has, her Nike pants, her Beats headphones. By the time she came in and put these Beats headphones on and went downstairs and she saw some drawers were open, so she realized, oh, the guy's in the house, and she goes on about how much money he may have taken. She gets into the point where she pretends to be so upset over this alleged fake assault. It's a real slap in the face, I must say, to victims who have really suffered this type of assault. Letecia plays it up and pretends like she's so upset, and she's blaming the cop, almost treating this woman who, there were two women trying to question her and one left. It was Detective Bethel who testified. Detective Bethel also got other audio, FaceTime, phone conversations, text messages from Letecia prior to this. It was hard to get Letecia in, and I didn't play her 911 phone calls. I might put a bunch of other stuff on Spotify video, but her 911 phone calls are very bad audio. The FaceTime audio is kind of bad, but I'm just focused on this video interview. Detective Bethel kept bugging Letecia to come in and tell us what you know so we can help find Gannon. You know, Al Stauch had already come in. He wasn't giving them a problem about coming in, but Letecia was. There was a Starbucks interview on January 28th, 2020. It featured Al and Letecia talking with detectives, and it would be the fourth time she gave the Gannon was a runaway story. But then Al Stauch, he came back and showed up for an interview at 4:30 p.m. down at the sheriff's office in El Paso County in Colorado, but Letecia wasn't having any of it. Instead, Letecia's texting detectives and giving them a hard time. She's claiming, she said she learned she was being set up, claiming she learned that from a fellow Blue, as if she had an inroads with the detectives or something, from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. Before that, Albert Stauch had already called the cops and he was sobbing because he knew something was wrong. He explained to them how Letecia had gotten a rental car. She lied about her black Tiguan SUV being parked at French Elementary. He knew something was wrong, he just didn't know what. So Letecia is FaceTiming Detective Bethel. She's all angry at the detectives. It was like 11:52 at night. She's all mad at the wrong things, claiming Harley, her daughter, teenage daughter at the time, was home with a bunch of men. But they were detectives, they were there, sent by Al Stauch. Albert Stauch wanted his daughter, Lena, who was only 7 at the time, to be picked up. I don't blame him. He didn't want anything else to happen to any of his children at the hands of Letecia. There's also a Detective Kat Houston that sits in on this interview. Letecia spins her long web of lies again. She claims she got offer letters from Spirit Airlines and SkyWest. She wants to be a flight attendant so badly. But there's something sketchy about this. She can't answer a question straight out. She's going in about not wanting to be a teacher anymore and how bad the kids are, you know, which is a hint to her mind state and her state towards Gannon, perhaps. And she talks about being flown out by Spirit Airlines. It sounds really hokey. And she talks about, you know, going over the manual and then getting an offer letter and about to go to training. I don't know. And she talks about maybe being stationed in Vegas, but that would be too far away. And that was a source of contention with her and Albert. And that's why she didn't say certain things in front of Albert. Her tale is not making sense, but I know why she came up with it. I guess Letecia knew she could not stick with the story anymore, that Gannon just walked to a friend's house. She knew that cops would be finding blood spatter evidence, tracking her motions, so she would have to come up with a story to explain all these things. At one point, it looks like Letecia turned her phone off. She was saying something like, "Is it okay if I just stop that?" I don't know if she just silenced it. I don't think she turned it off because later in the interview she will be texting Harley. But it reminded me of the Scott Peterson interview when people thought, oh, he could be really guilty. His phone rang during an important interview and he immediately just shut it off without looking. This is when his wife Lacey, pregnant wife with their baby Connor, she was still missing. And people thought, oh my goodness, look how quickly he just turned that phone off. What if it were Lacey? You know, how does he know she wouldn't be calling him? So I thought the same thing of Letecia. Later, she mentioned Gannon and the fact that Gannon started the candle. She claims Albert lets Gannon use box cutters to cut boxes down. This is like the second or third time she mentions a box cutter to police, so it makes me wonder, did she use a box cutter? What's horrible too is Letecia claims she sent Lena on a mission that Monday. Lena was only 7 years old. Letecia claims she sent the little girl on a mission to go get the mail and go ride your bike and go do all this other stuff. Letecia claims she's trying to save Lena, of course, from the bad man downstairs doing bad things to her, which she doesn't want to get into with the cops. She makes the cops almost seem like they have a dirty mind. Leticia's like, oh, do you want a play-by-play? It's like, seriously, if this were really a real attack, Letecia would have told cops immediately. She would have called cops as soon as the so-called Eduardo guy left. She claimed she didn't know if this guy took Gannon, but he definitely asked for a suitcase and a box. And she didn't know. Her stories are all over the place. If he was still in the home when the cops were there and he threatened her and all of that. If that were true, Letecia would have found a way to warn cops, to warn people, to warn everyone and say, this guy is here, he might have Gannon, she would have done that immediately. But she went from one lie to the next, and everything's so self-focused. Woe is me. Oh my goodness, she's claiming she hadn't showered in 2 days and she's all nasty. But she says she wants to go shower and chill after about 3 hours into this interview. She's claiming she's hungry when she just ate a pizza pocket, a few hours earlier when she first got there. They're offering her water, Coke, but she just wants to go chill. She wants to protect her mental state, she says. Finally, she admits of Gannon. He never left to go play. That's the only reason I made up the lie. I didn't want to face the consequences. I panicked. I told a story. I do not know where Gannon was. I do not know his whereabouts from that point on, about 4 o'clock. And she twists the words back on the cops like, well, I don't really want to say 4. I don't want you to put words in my mouth, blah, 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 blah. She claims, I'm not a good enough shooter, and Gannon was yelling my name. She claims that Gannon jumped on the guy's back, and the guy maybe tossed Gannon back. We don't know. Gannon was allegedly yelling her name as if she's trying to, I feel like she feels so, well, I won't say she feels guilty, but she's trying to also cast Gannon in the role of hero because she knows what she did to him. She hesitates. The cop is asking her, what did you hear? What did you see? What did you smell? She claimed the guy was making pleasure noises. It took her forever to say that. The cop, I love this cop. The cop just keeps going, sure. I'm so glad. They knew she was feeding them a line of BS. The cops kept saying sure to keep their cool. They weren't buying into her story. It felt like she was saying, sure, Jan. Letecia claims this mystery guy demanded certain things of her. I gave him the brown suitcase, and of course, he hit her head. Everything's a blur. Stuff happened twice. She claims she thought, oh, maybe Gannon was hiding in the closet. So is she giving herself away? Did she hide Gannon in the closet at any point? Or I still think she might have hidden him under that third row seat in her Tiguan, or unless she was able to, it depends on when things really happened. If she took his life around 2 or 3 or something, and she was still cleaning up when Lena got home, and she was off ordering Harley to get more cleaning supplies when it was time for Harley to come home. Did Letecia leave the house at any point after 4 or any time in there to go hide him at a different spot? Or did she keep him in her Tiguan or somewhere that the cops didn't catch that first night? And then on that Tuesday, go off when she was missing for a while and late. We remember her brother saying she was gone for a long time, claiming to get dog food. Was she putting him out in Douglas County somewhere and just kind of stashing him until it was time to take him to Florida? He saw in the opening she got mad when the cop took her phone. I love that he just took it and they were applying for a search warrant. I'm glad they didn't let her get out of there. They're holding her at this point. No wonder the interview's so long. She's asking for a lawyer. She felt disrespected. You know, did Gannon feel disrespected, Letecia? Can she think of that now? Her whole reactions to this video being played, she's alternately like holding her ears or again hiding behind her hair. She's looking up at the clock like, how long is this going to take? And I wish they'd move that freaking monitor that's just sitting right there blocking her, because she's on that side of the defense table where she knows where the camera is and she's like hiding right behind it. I don't want her to be able to hide anymore. But she has to stay because there's evidence on her body and they need a search warrant for it. She switched the story up, and so at that point they could have held her for false reporting. We'll see what comes next. She claimed Gannon was bleeding after this whole attack, this whole fake attack on her. Me, gotta protect my mental health. She took 2 extra Prozac or whatever, so she was kind of out of it. She blacked out. She doesn't remember this. The way she's reacting with these female cops in one way, she really goes off when the male cop takes her phone. When they're asking her simple questions like, what pants were you wearing during the attack? If the attack happened less than 48 hours ago and she was able to put back on her pants after the first time and go upstairs to send Lena on all these missions and stuff, she can't remember. She goes into the fact that she was wearing Nike pants maybe, or, you know, labels, but of course she washed them. She had time after the attack to do laundry. and they're in some pile somewhere, and she's assuming these cops have been in her home. And we know coming up after this, once she makes it to the hospital for the SANE exam, she's going to be, or either at the end of this video, she'll be stuffing the tissues in her pants, and she's realizing she's given her DNA on like the Hot Pocket plate or the cup. She's like, I can't take my cup. It's crazy towards the end of this. Matthew 6:7, and when you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Why, Letecia, indeed. That verse reminded me of Letecia, her much speaking. It's like she thought, if I can spin a yarn and like talk 10,000, 100,000, God bless these cops, words, they'll believe me. And thank God they didn't. Watch the whole thing, and I'll try and put up the next video with the end of this disastrous video interview.
And then just because you're in here and you're in our building and stuff, do you mind if I just pat you down really quick? That's how we hug. I need you to face that way for me. Yeah, go ahead and put your arms out for me and just separate your legs slightly for me. Okay. There you go. Nothing that's gonna like poke me or anything. Like you're not diabetic or anything, are you? Mm-hmm. Okay. This is a phone. Anything in your purse? Probably. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Great. If you put a seat on the couch, we'll be right back with you. Thanks.
Your Honor, just while we're actually watching this part, I do want to put something on the record. Normally, I wouldn't necessarily want to play the dead time when there's not an interview happening, but I think her actions inside the room are also relevant for mental health issues.
That's
so
your call.
I'm playing it differently than I know.
All right, that's your call.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Did you get some sleep?
I haven't eaten today.
Oh my goodness. Want something to eat? I've got some stuff.
I would love that.
What would you like? I've got some pizza Hot Pockets and some tamales, a breakfast burrito.
Hot pockets would be good. But I mean, you don't have to like, I don't
No, we can get you something. Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah. Let me get that started for you. I have like Coke and Sprite and like apple juice. Do you want something like that?
You have diet?
We searched high and low
Okay,
for diet. There's no diet.
I'll
Like,
take a regular Coke. Thank you.
all the vending machines are even sold out.
Thank you so much for getting that.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's my card, just so
Okay.
you have it, so I don't forget later. I'll get that, Judge.
Okay.
So that's my partner, Detective Houston. I know you saw Mark with me yesterday. I work with a couple different people.
You're like in charge of.
No, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm in charge. It's just, we all pitch in and help out where we can. So Mark helps me whenever I'm out and about, and Kat helps me whenever I'm here.
Right.
So she's going to be hanging out with us. And I also have something going on. So if this ends up going over, which is totally fine, I just want you to know who Kat is and that. Okay.
No problem.
Where did you park? Did you park in the garage?
Mm-hmm.
The garage that's right behind our building?
I got a parking ticket. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Perfect. For validation, what kind of vehicle were you in? So that I can put that on the validation slip whenever because I'll give you something to turn in so you don't have to pay.
Yeah, it's a Volkswagen Tiguan.
It's a Volkswagen Tiguan?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see, what else? So I'm just going to go through my normal spiel with you.
Okay.
I know that we talked last night, but because you're in here in the police building, I want you to know certain things, okay?
Right.
So first of all, you're in here voluntarily. You can leave.
Okay.
You just have to let me know that you want to leave.
Right.
Because I need to escort you out of the building. Okay? If there's ever a time that you need to take a break, you need the bathroom, you need more water, you're still hungry, whatever it is, let me know. Okay? I can't read your mind, so I need you to let me know what's going on with you.
Okay.
So that I can help you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because the whole purpose of this, of us talking, is to gather some information. And I
I
know
have a question about that. I understand that. I know it's recording and all that. It's totally fine. But does that usually stay within the court and stuff like that? And I'm just asking.
Yeah. So this
Because I'm gonna have to tell you some very personal things. So
okay. And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, okay.
And so it is not our common practice to go and be releasing stuff like that. Also, another little admin thing that I do just to sort of kind of cover my butt whenever I have people in here talking is to go over a Miranda waiver. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that you're in trouble. It's just because you're in a police station, and I want you to be absolutely certain of your rights.
Right.
Okay? So I'm going to go over that with you right now. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned.
Mm-hmm.
If you can afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish.
Okay.
You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements.
Right.
Do you understand each of the rights that I've explained to you?
Yes.
And having these rights in mind, do you wish to speak with me?
Yes.
Okay. So if you could circle yes and then initial. It's sort of redundant, but if you'll initial next to yes. And then down at the bottom is an X here.
Mm-hmm.
If you'll sign that for me. Now, sorry, this was, I got a new watch and it doesn't like to work for me. It's 12:10. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, because, I know I met with you yesterday. We talked on the phone, we texted, we've been talking with each other a lot. But because this is recorded, I want to get, let's start from the basics.
Okay.
Of who you are. Do you have your ID?
Yeah.
In your purse? Well, those are my glasses.
Yeah, this.
What are they?
This.
I haven't heard of that. Is that a new?
Like a Quay brand. Yeah. They're really good. They're better in the micro quarters and things
Oh,
like
really?
That. Yeah.
Okay. So I know this is your South Carolina ID.
Mhm. Thank you so much.
What's your middle name?
Well, it's I do my maiden name, which is Hardin, Hardin.
Hardin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that's your maiden name?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me just write down. There's the deal number. You have a given middle name?
Lynn.
Mm-hmm. Lynn?
Yes, ma'am.
There you are. Thank you. What's a good phone number for you in case I need to get a hold of you?
843
Okay.
655 7460. I don't ever drink sugar, so this is probably going to be like so good.
What is, in case I need to send you any documentation via email, how can I do that?
CECIA, like my name, Lynn, and then 2006 at yahoo.com.
Are you on any social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram?
Well, I wasn't for a long time, but just recently I just got like my Facebook back because we didn't have for like 2 years. So I do have a Facebook, but I've always had Instagram, but it's mostly like a travel YouTube type thing.
Okay, what's Facebook?
It's just my name.
Is it Letecia or
It's
Tisha?
under Tisha. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, you said it's under Tisha?
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, it's not. It's because I abbreviated it. It's TT.
Is it your same last name?
Mm-hmm.
Such.
Yeah, because I really don't like, my first name, I'm always like, oh, Kesha. They're like, what Kesha? So I just put T because
Have I been saying your name wrong?
No, you haven't, but I always try to change it. My mom didn't like it, so like we tried to change it. So yeah, so I just gave up just to put T.
What do you want me to call you?
You can call me. You can call me Tisha, which is my
Tisha. Okay.
You know, we always have a name we don't like or something. Mm-hmm.
And you said Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Now my Instagram is under Dr. Stauch.
Dr. what?
Stauch.
Is it the spelling of your last name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because I have my doctorate degree in education.
Okay. I'm like, is this like a Dr. Pimple Popper kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
So it's for your education doctorate.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then address that I need to send if I need to mail anything.
It's 6627 Mandan Drive.
Mandan Drive.
And then 80925.
And where are you working?
Well, I was working with WD3, but I didn't want to work as a teacher anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided I was going to be a flight attendant. So that's currently what I started doing with Spirit. So I had been going back and forth doing like FAA. First you have to get like a study guide. I know you're probably like, oh, you have your doctorate degree, you want to be a flight attendant. You know, I just like to travel. But my goal was to like teach online too and do the flight attendant so I could do both.
Sure.
So I've been looking over my books with Spirit and like things like that so that I could go to training. So I was supposed to go to training. We get like a training date February, March, April. So in the meantime, I was just doing like subbing at the early college. That's why I told you early college, picking up sub shifts and stuff like that.
Okay, so you're more of a substitute.
Well, I was just a fifth grade teacher at French, but it has gotten so difficult in the elementary schools. I don't want to do it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of like in between. I just finished working with them, and
yeah, I'm sure kids nowadays are a handful, right?
it's hard because I did special ed for so long, because that's what my doctorate's in, and then you're like, oh, like
You get burned
try to help so many people, and it's just hard.
All right. So you're gonna do flight attendant with Spirit?
Well,
Have you been picked up by them yet?
well, I got an offer letter from Spirit, an offer letter I just got one yesterday from SkyWest.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I like SkyWest is because they have a domicile in Colorado Springs and in Denver. So you can actually like work there, and I could do both at the college. So I was going to, I thought it was vibrate. I was going to do like Pike Seek, and like, I'm sure I wouldn't have a problem because I just finished this past year. I was going to just do them both. And then, so I hadn't decided, but now that SkyWest just had offered it, I was like, that would be perfect because it was just like centrally located, you know. So
Right.
you could come home all the time.
Yeah.
So that was a big problem that we had, is because I was going to take the Spirit job and then I wouldn't be based anywhere. They don't have a base anywhere in our area. So like I would have had to be in Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
So I would never get to see anybody at home. And then you like stay in these crash pads.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with it?
We were on vacation with some people who, the wife used to be a nurse, and she actually transitioned into being a flight attendant.
Right.
She was telling us all about it, actually.
Right, yeah. So
it's scary. Like, so familiar.
I did start getting scared about it being in Vegas, and I was like, man, I'll never get to see everybody at home. And like, I mean, I love the travel part. So then I was stuck with traveling, but being alone, or traveling with everybody else, but maybe not as much here. So, but anyway, that was in a nutshell. I was kind of, and I was still evaluating. Is it okay if I just stop that? Because it's like
that's fine.
Drives me crazy. But yeah, look at, so I was in like a self evaluation type thing, trying to figure out, you know, transitioning from education and never having like another career. Like, and then like worrying about how people would look at you like, oh, you have a doctorate degree, you're a flight attendant, you know, you guys like don't make money,
right?
You know, so
my niece is actually a flight attendant, so for Southwest.
They said that's the best one, and whenever they have openings, it shuts the website down.
Oh,
that's what I heard.
That's pretty awesome. I didn't know about that. And apparently, it's really hard to get into because they're supposed to like handle emergencies in the air. So
yeah, and like the training is so. You think people just think we will serve people, but the training is so.
I heard it's very intense.
Yeah, they like do ditching exercises. They kick people out every day. If you're late for class for 1 minute, kick you out.
Oh wow,
and
that's good. We need standards like that whenever we're
so
flying.
And let me just tell you this in case it comes up like somewhere. But Spirit flew me out to do the December 20-something training, right? Problem is, I didn't have anybody to watch Harley, and Albert was working night shifts, and so it's always hard because it's always on me to find babysitters for everybody, all the kids. It's always on me. So I get out there, and he was supposed to help. I know she's 17. We let her stay by herself, whatever. But through the night, because he was working 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., that kind of scared me. Mm-hmm. So, like, she just joined the Air Force. So, like, I know she's going to have to learn how to, like, shoot a gun, protection, but, you know, like, she's not ready yet, mature. Like, she's very mature, but she's not ready. So I came back, you know, and I was, like, talking to them. I just told them, I was like, my daughter's at home, whatever. And they're like, we can move you to the next class. Like, I think it was February, whatever. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, so just in case you're like, oh, I thought you were. But I did fly out. They flew you out or whatever. And I came back because I was panicking about her, the dogs, everybody to take care of. So,
she's your baby, right?
Yeah.
So, why don't we talk a little bit about what's going on? So, I understand. So, initially, you didn't tell me some things because Albert was there. And when we say Albert, we're talking about Eugene.
He doesn't like Eugene because his dad is Eugene. And he was a child molester.
Okay.
So, like, he, like, raped his sister.
Mm-hmm.
So he freaks out about the word, like, if he hears Eugene. But I said maybe that might help you. If you don't have to call him Eugene, it probably would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is take me through Sunday into Monday.
Okay.
And be as detailed as possible as to what you were doing, who was there, where you were at, how long you spent, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Because the more detail I have, it might spark something for me.
Is it okay if I take my notes out? Because, like, I wrote down all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was like, I tried to write down anything he might, like, say, and just in case, because I have, like, notes from different things or whatever. So we already talked about the beginning things. I figured you read that. So my paper is that we're at the same story that we started with, but then you want me to start with Sunday, which was the day that we went hiking, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we went hiking at Garden of the Gods. Did you see the picture from Garden of Gods?
I didn't.
Okay, so we have pictures where we went to Garden of Gods. We were going to take the dog for a walk, but then my daughter got called in to work because she works at Massage Day.
Okay.
So we were like, okay, we're going to go hiking. The crazy thing is, like, it's always like you got one kid likes to hike a lot, the other one don't. So spent the whole time like, come on, let's go. We got to burn calories. Excuse me, all those type of things. Then he started having a stomach problem, and he pooped in his pants. So it kind of cut our hike a little bit short. But I was like, it's okay. It was kind of cold. I say cold for me, but I'm used to like 80-degree weather, so it was kind of getting cold. So we decided to go home.
Okay.
So we go home. I don't really remember what we did the rest of the day. It was probably just like random things around the house. I feel like we went to dinner. Oh no, we didn't get dinner because he wanted to take a bath. That's it. So he came in and that's when he asked me about the whole bath ball.
Okay.
And he had pooped in his pants, so I thought he wanted to like take a shower, so I gave him a bath bomb.
Okay.
So going through the night, we were just doing like a regular random. I feel like I don't know who I should be talking to, but
you can talk to both.
Yeah, we used to be doing like random things around the house. It's Sunday, no football on. You know, I mean, I don't know like specific every little detail we did, but just a normal everyday situation. Other than he was in a lot of pain because he gets really bad. Is it okay if I like show you like graphic, like not graphic, but like with my hand motions?
Yeah, that's fine.
He'll get where he has to like poop, and like I swear they're like that big. It might take like 2 to 3 weeks. He has a like a GI problem, so because he takes Vyvanse, so like he had went the whole time without Vyvanse. So whenever that happens, sometimes it'll get where his stomach like wants to work, but then like can't. So he spends a lot of time in the bathroom, like kind of like hurting and things like that.
Okay.
All right. So then at this point, the dog, we have 2 new little, a Frenchie and an English bulldog. They're really like,
French and English bulldog.
Yeah, they are. They're really kind of like Sadie's the French bulldog. She's kind of like high maintenance. But the kids always help out a lot with them, but Ganna wasn't feeling too well. And the dogs, they all, how they like know someone's not feeling well. So they were all laying down there and it was gassy, like very, very, they're back with that, very, very gassy or whatever. And, life goes on. But so Gannon had started a candle. Again, normal day. He's very like responsible in terms of like, if you give him something and say, do this, and like a list to prepare, it's fine. So we let him, do things like that. Like Albert lets him like use the box cutter to cut the boxes down, and like teach him things to be like a independent, growing up adolescent. So I didn't see a problem with him, light a candle, whatever.
Okay.
Well, I don't remember the exact time. I'd have to look at when the fire thing went off. I was tired. Albert had left because we spent the whole night up prior with Saturday because he was going to train in Oklahoma. So we stayed up most of the night.
Okay.
Just everybody was going to miss each other, wouldn't see each other for a while, whatever. So I was kind of like, tired. I had dozed off for a little bit. And Lena asked me, could she stay up and still watch the rest of her iPad or whatever. Usually I'm always like, no, strict, like, hey, no, you can, whatever. But I did feel kind of bad because it was just her birthday. And at the same time being her birthday, we had a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
So we made it about her, but like I was trying to give her a little bit extra because not everybody got to make it there. And we went all out for Gannon's birthday. Like we took him to a Rockies game. We took friends with him. I mean, like popcorn, hot dogs. But we didn't do that with her. But in her defense, we bought her a Switch. So it was kind of like different, but she didn't understand that. So I let her stay up longer than she's supposed to as like a, not necessarily bribery, but, So we stayed up a little bit later. And so she was still she's a very hard sleeper and she's hard to like pick up, move if she falls asleep, whatever. But I could tell she was just barely asleep when I went in there. So it starts beeping, like a beep, 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 beep. And I thought that someone was coming in the house. So I look and don't see anyone at any doors or hear anything. So I was like, I thought it was just a sensor. So I hit in our 2564, which is our alarm code, but it didn't go off. And I was like, what's wrong with this thing? So I walked through Lena's room. The alarm is in her room, and I walk back like through the top part of the house, and you've been in the house, so you know the top part of the house.
I haven't been in there.
Okay, so there's the upper level, and then there's the below basement. So I like walk back and forth or whatever. I didn't see anything going on. Then it started saying fire, 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 fire. Like it kept saying fire.
Oh wow.
So and I thought it was you know how like so there's like sensors for your fire alarm and then there's sensors for your like alarm. Mm-hmm. So I was just going at everything trying to like ban it while it was going off because I was thinking kitchen, fire, nothing's wrong, whatever. So I was putting like towels over some of the sensors because I thought that was like monitoring the fire thing, whatever. And then I realized it kept going and going. So then I see smoke coming up from the downstairs. So I run downstairs, and my idea of a big fire is anything that I see on fire pretty much and there's smoke, that's just because I grew up in the country. So, like I remember bonfires and like things like that, So there was smoke coming up through the basement. So the basement so if you walk down the basement, there's just sofa and stuff over here. It was coming up through the basement. So I like run back up the stairs, go grab Lane, and luckily, my point telling you about her being not a rough sleeper, she woke right up. So she woke back up, and I like almost like grabbed her, and I was like, get up, get up, get up, get up. I gave her the keys. I said, can you go? I don't remember the exact order, but I said something along the lines of, can you go take the dog to Daddy's truck and sit there and wait?
Right.
So I don't remember the order of how we all ran out the house, but I know that at that point I did. She ran out, and I can't remember if I ran out to make sure they got the truck or if she ran out by herself. I don't remember that part, but I do know that they had gotten in the truck. I came back inside, run back downstairs, and that's when I was trying to get Gannon because I couldn't I didn't know how to get everybody at once. So my main thing was to get the front people out, and then go. So then I ran back downstairs to get Gannon. And then the fire was on the floor over here, and then on the sofa. So I'm pretending this is the sofa and this is our floor. So it was right here and right here. And I saw the candle that was over here. So there was covers everywhere because the kids always get on about, they leave a lot of covers laying around all the time. I mean, there's like 10 clothes and LOLs and blankets and all this. So they were all right here. So I take a whole bunch of them and I go and like basically smash down on the sofa and the fire to put it out. So I got a burn, and then I was like, get up again and started running at that point because it wakes him up. He's alert. He's realizing that the covers and everything's on fire, the carpet's on fire, and we all go outside. So we get in Albert's truck and we drive off. And I drove off in panic because I saw that I put the fire out. So I knew that there was no, like nothing wrong, like it wasn't going to keep going. I drove off in panic because I just like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Like we burnt the carpet, we done this and this. Gannon's upset, freaking out because he's scared he's going to get in trouble and da-da-da-da-da. So, like the whole talk was going on. So we drove maybe around the block a little bit and came right back. So we came back in and like developed a plan for the next day to figure out, honestly, we were going to fix the carpet and try to like not say anything. And the reason for that is because like Albert freaks out about every little thing. If the kids do something and I'm on like me, and he'll be like, you didn't do this, you weren't being a good mom, you weren't doing this, you weren't doing that. And so we both kind of were like a little like worried about it. And he gets very like crazy, like if something goes wrong. So that was the plan. Go to sleep, rest. He was going to stay out of school. We were going to get the carpet fixed and then go from there. Plus, stomach hurting. So Lena didn't want to sleep in her room. Everybody was still kind of like frazzled. And I think Lena slept with me or on the sofa. I brought the dogs up. And again, he wanted to go in his room at that point because he was already sleeping on the sofa. So that's where Sunday, like pretty much kind of like stopped and everybody went to bed and yada, yada, yada. And I think I sent Albert messages because he was sleeping, was on a different time zone, and he didn't see him that night. So.
Okay.
And I didn't feel that no one was in harm. Make sure I say that because the fire was not going. Now, I know that Gannon had like black marks all on his shirt, like smoke marks. But he had on a long sleeve shirt and a short sleeve shirt because sometimes he has on whatever. He had on a short sleeve shirt with a long sleeve shirt. So I didn't see him in any kind of like nothing other than the little burns that we had. I didn't see.
Where did you see burns on Gannon?
All right, so with Gannon, I just saw that, okay, so like on the top, like right here, so like say the shirts are here, so like right here there was a burn. And the reason for that was I think whenever like he was trying to come up, it kind of burned him a little bit. I'm not going to make an assumption. I don't really know. And as far as that, I didn't see anything else. Like I didn't know any like other differences or anything like that. All I saw was that. I said, okay, he ran out the house, he was firing out the house, everything was normal, yada, yada, yada. Now, I'm going to let you know in a little bit why he was bleeding. Okay. But at that point, when you get to the Monday morning thing, I'll let you know about that.
Describe the flames for me. How tall are these flames? Is it like smoldering on the carpet, sort of kind of creeping across like a grass fire, or is it like coming up, working its way up the couch? Like, how is it?
Well, I really don't know. I know that it was like here, centralized on the floor, but like I could see, I think the smoke might have like kind of intimidated me more because I spent the whole night coughing. So I think that kind of intimidated me so much because the visibility was starting to be a little bit, like as if I had walked into a small little fire, and I was just afraid that it was gonna, because like upholstery for the couch, that was my biggest concern, was the upholstery for the couch. So
okay,
so I would say, it was like maybe like in this area, like right here. It wasn't like here.
so the flames were 2-3 feet high, you think? How much light did you see coming off of this through the smoke?
No.
Okay, and that's fine if you don't know.
I'm not like a professional and I was in the moment of freaking out to like give you an accurate answer.
Sure.
Because I don't want to tell you what's here, and it might have been here. I don't want to tell you this, and that. I don't know.
This is all based off of your memory to the best of your ability.
Right.
And that's all it is, okay?
I do know that I saw covers coming up on fire.
What was what covers were coming up on fire?
Like, he had a cover on, because he was sleeping on the sofa.
What
on
was
the
he
sofa.
covered with?
What do you mean?
What kind of blanket? You had mentioned there was LOLs, there's quilts.
Which color?
What blanket was he using?
Oh, I'm not sure. There was a couple that were there. There was a black. They were all. I put them all back in that bin that was sitting there. Did you? He said you didn't.
I haven't been in there.
Okay, so there was black. It was like a little furry. There was watermelon ones. I don't remember specifically which one he had, but I know that there was blankets in the area because they always leave blankets around. They leave the mermaid one around. But the whole operation of when I grabbed them and put it out, I grabbed them all and done it. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Were any of them like damaged whenever that happened?
Oh yeah, they all. I left them all there when I showed them that night that like they were damaged or whatever.
Okay. Well, I haven't been in the house either.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm speaking to you like you.
Yeah, no, I didn't go into the house either, so I was like trying to make sure that we're.
Yeah.
So then Gannon decides that he doesn't want to go to school because of his tummy issues or because he's going to help you with the carpet. What is?
It was kind of a combination of both.
Okay, and who excused him from school?
But I had texted Albert and said, could he not go to school for his stomach?
Okay.
Because he was hurting with his stomach, but also the whole plan was that we were going to figure it out. Like,
so who actually contacted the school to excuse him?
it wasn't me. I didn't. I don't know.
Okay.
Did someone contact? Because I didn't.
I would assume that somebody would contact the school, or you probably would get like a phone call. I know with my kids' school, if they're not there by 8:15, the office.
Then they would call Albert, not me, because he would have the like the automated system where he's like, your child's missing. Your child is missing from school today, whatever.
Okay. Yeah. So that's Sunday, and you're saying a lot of we and that kind of thing. So you mentioned earlier that Harley had gone to work.
Mm-hmm.
She got called into massage envy.
Mm-hmm.
So who went on the hike?
So it was originally going to be all of us. Harley, me, Gann, and Lena. And then Harley got called in. She switched shifts with someone, but then that person, like, I guess the policy is that person agreed to take your shift, but then don't come, you still have to come or something. I don't know. But, so she just was like, I have to go. She's only going to be working there like a few more weeks or whatever. So I told her, I was like, don't burn any bridges. I know it sounds crazy that you have to do that, but you got to go in. So she went into work on Sunday.
Okay. So it ended up being you, Gannon, and Lena that went hiking.
Right.
Okay. And so then let's go through Monday. Yep.
So we wake up on Monday. Normal. How we wake up. And you're like, everybody gets up, whatever. Gannon stays in bed. He already knows that we are going out and about today. That was the plan. I walked Lena out, because usually Gannon walks her outside. So I walked Lena out to the front door and around to make sure I seen her around the corner to get to the bus stop. And she did.
Okay.
I come back inside. I don't remember if I laid down a little bit. I probably played on my phone for a little bit, you know, wasted a little bit. Because she goes outside like 6:50, 6:55. You know, still early. Take the dogs out, things like that. Well, I go down, start talking to Gannon about, hey, like, this is the plan. Like, go downstairs, the basement, whatever. I say basement, but as in, like, his room is downstairs. It's a furnished basement. And I realized that Gannon, he actually had, like, marks, like, on his arm. And they were actually, like, peeling at that point. And I swear, I did not realize that they had, I don't know if, like, they start, like, because burns are sitting there. I don't know if they started, like, peeling, like, overnight or, like, whatever. And he has, like, really bad anxieties. So whenever things are peely or, like, things like that, he bites his own nails a lot anyway. Like, anything that's, like, loose and things like that, he bites them. So I don't know if, like, as burns, like, you know, burned a little bit. And when I do this, I don't mean, like, I'm giving you a location. I'm just saying, like, as in burns, like, on your skin. I guess when, like, you know, like, pull a little bit stretchy or whatever. So, like, on your arm, it kind of gets a little stretchy and peeling. Mm-hmm. So then I was, like, freaked out because I was like, I didn't know that his arms were like that. So I'm, like, crying because, and this is where I have to start telling you, you know, like, I'm, like, very, like, I was scared. Because my thought process was, Albert is going to kill me. Like, because I made a mistake as a parent and forgot to, like, really check him down. And he really got a little bit more burned than he should have. So I was freaking out because, like, he's going to kill me. And Gannon was like, it's okay. Like, there was blood. And, like, he had on his arm. And as it was peeling, I should have called. I should have called the hospital and just asked, you know, I don't know enough about burns, but I should have called the hospital and just asked, like, I made a mistake. I did. I swear to y'all, I didn't know they were that bad. I did it all. So I feel horrible. So here I am. I know it's not, you know, about me, but as a person, I was feeling horrible that I didn't call Albert to say, you know, they're like this. So I told him, I said, okay, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put some, like, aloe on your arms, you know, and things like that. And I was like, it's going to be okay. We're going to fix it. We're going to, you know, and all I kept thinking about was we're going to fix it. And I don't know in my mind how I was going to fix it as far as he wasn't in pain. He wasn't saying, like, I'm hurting or anything like that. He was more of, like, peeling it. Like, you know, like, it was like, it was like a boil. Am I saying the right word? Boil, like, blister? Like a blister. Like it was pulling a blister, you know. Okay. So there was blood, and then so I'm, like, holding him, and I had blood on me. And when I say blood, let me explain to you. I don't mean, like, dripping out, pouring everywhere blood. So let me not, like, give you that thought process. Because sometimes when I say, like, if I say flames, to me, I'm like, this is a big flame, you know. So there was blood. So I was just so, like freaked out. So I was like, we'll just clean it up. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. Where's the blood at? So the blood was on his arms, on his, like, sheet that he had, which we washed the sheet. So it was on his sheet, it was on his arms, and he had some on, like his arm had, I guess from, like, sleeping or whatever, he had some on the wall. So we cleaned up everything. I put, like, garnish am I saying the right? Garnish like the wrap thing, but a wrap thing. And I was like, we'll check it with the aloe and see if it gets better. Because my next thing was, I'm going to assess the situation in so many hours. And if it looked, because I did look online, and it said, like, if it turns a yellow color, that it could be infected or whatever. And I was like, that was going to be my next step. So I don't want you to think that I was, like, neglecting the fact that.
So you realize that he's got a burn. You do some treatment that you think is appropriate at the time. And then you tell yourself, you know, I'm going to do this follow-up with him. Okay. Right. So then what happens after you take care again and make sure he's okay?
Honestly, I'm pacing the house, and I know there's two things I got to fix, you know. And when I tell you that Albert will freak out over things, I just want you to know that. So I want you to take a picture in my mind of how I'm, like, afraid to be like, okay, I got to fix these situations, and I need to fix them fast with carpet and things like that. Okay. So number one, I was like, I need to fix the carpet, and number two, I need to figure out, you know, like, it says, like I said, does Gannon need to go get like some burn cream or whatever? We're gonna leave out. I think I told you guys it was like maybe 10:35 or whatever the time frame we left. So this is where I should have like made this mistake. So I drive to so Larson Ranch. At the end of Larson Ranch is a bunch of new builds, like construction, things like that. I drive to the new builds. I was going to be like, hey, look, somebody here knows how to, fix it. Because if I get online and start calling people, then they'll be like, make an appointment. I figure I might find somebody that, would do like a little side job and come and help us fix when I say carpet, I'm talking about fix the living room, the spot that I had cut out or whatever. So I did. I pulled up. On the back part, there were some new houses being built, and there were some like Hispanic, and I'm not saying that to be like discriminatory. They were Hispanic people that were out there, and I was like, "Hey, do you know where you can get the carpet that is in the Larson Ranch model home?" So I told him the model home, which was the same home that we had. I mean, I don't know if it's the model home, but I gave him the name because I asked, like, I looked online for the company for the name. I said it's in there. He's like, everybody has that same carpet. Yes. So we got a roll of the carpet.
Where'd you get that from?
We got it from the guy on the scene. Like I say, on the scene, but the construction area. So we got the carpet from the guy in the construction area. Well, I didn't get it done. He said he was going to bring it to me. So I gave him the address. And this is where I messed up. I gave him, and this is why I couldn't tell you this in front of Albert. I gave him our code to get in. If he was going to go fix it. And I just assumed working in the house, he was going to be okay, whatever. And me and Gannon left. I just said, hey,
Did you give him the garage door code?
Yeah.
And what about the alarm?
Well, if you go in through, so like you're walking in through our house, there's no sensor. So we always keep it on our alarm, and you can walk in through the garage and the alarm will never set off or off. Never.
Okay.
And the reason for that is like there's no door. Like there's nothing that tells that door that it's open. You can send.
You don't have a sensor there.
Right. So we just always, and the kids come in every day in the garage and never have to like set, reset, anything like that.
Okay.
So me and Gannon go on. I don't remember exactly where we went first. I know we rode a little bit because I was looking for different places to buy the dogs some like different cute outfits because sometimes I get them at Ross. But Petco has some really good deals going on right now. So I was like, I'm going to go to Petco. Gannon was like, at that point, it was like he wanted to lay down because his stomach was hurting. He wasn't complaining about like any like pain on his arms or anything like that. He just said he wanted to lay down because his stomach was hurting. So we were in Albert's truck. So we lay down. He lays down in the back of the truck. So he's just laying down, whatever. I went to Petco. I can't remember if I went in the store beside Petco. I know we went some places around town, just different locations.
What places did you go to?
I know I went to Petco. I know I went to a gas station to get gas.
Which Petco did you go to?
The one at, is it Nevada and something?
Okay.
I don't really
remember. Like that's
it's nice. It's a nice area. That's the area I basically was in for. I wasn't gone that long for most of the time frame. That was the area that I was in. And then I made the wrong. When you're coming back and it tells you go this way, I made the wrong exit. Like I got on the wrong one, so I went back. I guess that would be. I went back. I went north a little bit before I turned around to come back because I made the wrong one. So I get back and let's see. I can't. Did we go eat at that time? Look, I didn't get anything to eat. Maybe I just got Starbucks. I could look at my credit card or something like that. See if you want to look and see where I spent that day. You want me to look?
No, but eventually, yes. Okay. That would be helpful.
Okay. So I remember what happened. Then I realized I had to go back to Petco. That's why we turned around and came back. Because I started off, I bought 2 outfits, maybe 1 or 2, and then I came back in Petco and I got the rest of the outfits that were on there because I was like, I'll go 2 more for this price. So I did go back to Petco twice. So I'm sure you'll see that.
In between, did you go?
Let's see, if we left at 10 something, it's like a 30-minute drive from Larson Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got there, got gas, got Starbucks, maybe I was there at 11-ish. I don't want to say a time. Because
so you go to Petco the first time, and then how long in between the first visit and the second visit to Petco?
Can I give you that, like, looking up?
A guesstimate or
maybe an hour?
Maybe an hour? Do you have like any tracker apps or anything on your phone? Because I know, like for me, I have that Life 360, and it'll tell me.
To show
Yeah.
you what we think. Okay.
It'll tell me, you know,
Yeah,
what my
that's
short
easy.
trips are. It'll even tell me if I walked somewhere. It's freaking awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I just get tracked by Google. I have Android phone, so it just tells me.
My family likes to know where I'm at, so
Well,
you know,
I do that to Harley because, Harley, you know, was the only child, and then her father was killed. So it's always like she and I, and like she was like really all I had until I got remarried or whatever.
Mhm.
So I kind of like do maybe a little over bored of stalking them.
Hey, you know what?
Like right now, I'm like, all right, let's see.
Do you have the one with the subscription? I'm like trying to figure out if I should get that or not.
I don't. She always says something about purchasing it. And she
Mhm.
said it would help if
Like
you
the
like
crash detection
right. That's what
and-
she was saying.
Yeah.
And she was saying that it was kind of like how the Apple Watch would do if you had a crash detection. It would alert the authorities. They'll say, yeah, okay, this is. I don't know if this is like a service thing, but it's on. I would say I'm waiting. I would say hour-ish because I'm a very indecisive person when it comes to like shopping. So I had to go back and make my mind up. I can leave right here, but it's loading. I think maybe.
Can I see it? Maybe it'll
Yeah.
maybe it'll give me better reception.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Give a password or something. I can put it in.
No, I could do my finger.
Okay. Sometimes this corner, if you fold it up high, it'll.
Because I know people watching, I want them to have my passcode in, and they'll know our code for a lot of stuff.
All right, here we go. Is it working?
No.
Oh, that corner is like typically the sweet corner.
Hold it up here.
Yeah. We can set it down here. Let's see if it keeps going. Okay, so you make the second trip to go back and buy more outfits.
Mm-hmm.
And then where do you go from there? Is Gannon still telling you that he wants to like lay down? How's he doing?
He was. Oh, something happened.
There you go. Yeah, I told you this was a sweet corner.
It says purchase could not be completed. I didn't purchase anything. The purchase cannot be completed.
Huh.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. I've never had that pop open before. The purchase could not be completed. Please try again later. Well, I mean, we tried.
I guess it says to access.
Signal, so.
Free membership includes two.
How long have you guys had that app?
Oh God. Since I started driving for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a long time. Yeah.
Because I want to say, like, it's never had me do a purchase.
It just says. It didn't even ask me to put anything. Purchase could not be completed.
That's bizarre. That is bizarre. You didn't hit anything. I didn't hit anything. Okay. So you go back to Petco the second time. Does Gannon, these places that
Sorry, I was going to say, it says crash detection disabled. Does that mean I don't have the...
yours looks different than mine does. And you don't have a subscription?
Mm-mm. Like, it gives me, but it sends me all the alerts. Like, it says, like, Carly arrived home.
Well, yeah. I mean, I get those too.
Yeah.
If you have certain places set, like
No,
work
I get
or
those.
home.
Yeah, well, I get the work at home, but it'll say completed a 4-mile drive, completed a 15
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think we might have different versions because I had Android. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. So when you and Gannon are out running around to these places and you know, getting your gas and your coffee and
Right.
Petco a couple times, and does he go into the stores with you?
no,
or-
but I parked, and I know you're going to see this, so I'm going to say that I parked on the front, and like, I don't know if you'll probably, if you see the Petco, cameras, I'm in the, can I show you? Sure. I'm in the store a lot of times walking back to the front door doing this. And my point of doing that is because I was making sure that I didn't see him, like, you know, if he needed something or like eating out or whatever. And we he stays in the car. Like, I'll really stay in the car all the time with, like, if, like, Lena's in the car, he'll be like, it's okay, stay here, buddy, we'll be right back. Didn't think anything of it because he had his Switch with him, and he was playing his Switch.
Did he know what store you were in?
Yeah, Petco.
So, like, if he needed you or whatever else.
But and I did keep walking to the door several times, and I'm pretty sure I did it on the second visit too, walking back to the door just to make sure. You know, like if he was like, oh, you know, sure, if I need you or whatever, sure. So yeah, you can see that on there. So do you need to know like what I did in there, or
So you're just in there shopping, and then
it wasn't even a long shop.
Okay.
Like it wasn't.
And then you come back out, and then where do you go?
So I know we were right in that area, like different places, but I don't think I stopped anywhere else specific to get anything other than Starbucks. I made a wrong turn, and then the 2 times at Petco, and I was looking for Marshalls, but
After the second time at Petco, did you go anywhere?
I think after that Petco is when we started to head home.
Okay, so you go home,
And I want to give you like an accurate of that if I pull this up, because I feel like right after Petco we went home. I don't want you
to try and bring it up.
Yeah, I don't want you to think that I missed a stop or something. And I will tell you, on the way there, we did stop and get gas somewhere.
Okay.
I can't remember if it was on the way there or way home.
Do you remember what station?
But we did stop
Michelle,
and get gas.
7-Eleven.
Here,
Come and go.
If you gotta go.
I hate to do this. Yeah, I need to run out. I'm gonna come back.
Okay.
Okay. It shouldn't take me very long, hopefully. But please continue talking with Detective Houston, and then whenever I get done with that, I'm gonna come back in and we'll get back on again. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull this up too. That oh.
Sure. The USA app is being slow too.
Is it my phone?
I don't. You can try that corner again. It might. The floor's a little weird. So after you guys left Petco,
Mm-hmm.
So did you buy something there that time, or?
The second time, yes.
Okay.
And I know she kept asking me about what was Gann doing, what was he, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to say this about getting back.
Okay.
So everyone has been, about this whole thing about camera footage and this happened because we didn't see this or didn't see this. So I'm very smart.
What do you mean, everyone?
So, my whole family is being harassed. My mom is being threatened to be killed. My daughter is being stalked. I thought it took me a while to get here because I had to put some safety measures in for her own well-being.
Okay.
And my family from back home is being threatened. People are staying there, sending people after them.
Okay.
All those things. So, there's always a world of people making situations and saying, let's be a good person, but then threaten someone else.
Okay.
And so being aware of that's what was going on. So in between all that and all these people were sending me messages, people were saying blah, blah, blah. I didn't respond to any of them. During all that, there was something along the lines of someone checked neighbors 2 doors down or something, camera footage, and never saw anyone do this or that. I don't know, specifics. But my point behind telling you that is, if this is what you guys, and I'm not saying this is what you're basing stuff on, but if this is what you're basing stuff on, is in the day and age, timeline, security, things like that, you will see on somebody's security, Gannon and I run to the car at 10 something that morning and returning at 2 something.
Okay.
So I remember specifically in the truck, I pulled it right in front of the ring. And
More ring?
Yes, but we don't have a subscription.
Okay.
But according to these neighbors who can see all the way to the truck every day,
Okay.
they should be able to show you during those time frames that we run in, we run out, he runs back in, or whatever.
Okay.
And then
So you leave around 10 something, and then you get back around 2 something.
I feel like it was 2:35, 2:25, 2 something.
Okay.
Because I knew I had to be back in time to do a couple of things, and then I knew Lane would be coming there. I knew Harley would be getting off work, yada, yada, yada. So that was the whole thing. So going on from there, Gannon goes inside, I think first, I don't want to misquote myself, but I'm pretty sure he ran in first. And I had the bag for Petco and all that stuff in my hand. Now, I don't.
Which store did you guys use?
We always go in through the garage if we like park like on the front part of the yard or things like that.
Sure.
So we go in through the garage.
Okay.
He goes in through the garage. I go in. I'm getting ready to put up the things, stuff like that. And this is where it got. I made a mistake. This is it.
Okay.
So as we got inside, I heard something, but I didn't think anything about it because I thought, you know, maybe Dana was like doing something. Maybe we were like doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was in there. And I gave him the code.
The guy from the...
Yeah, it's all my fault. I gave him a code to fix the carpet. And he was inside. I noticed when I had like walked in and I saw our we have like a little bookshelf thingy. I keep my shades in there too, but we also have like our guns and stuff. I saw it was open, but in my mind I thought maybe I left my shades or whatever.
Your sunglasses?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't think anything of it when I heard the noise, and I just started walking downstairs. But I didn't walk downstairs with like a gun or anything like that. So I started walking downstairs, and then when I walked downstairs, I hear something again. Well, at that point in time, Gannon was on the sofa, and I saw him, and I heard something again, and I walked on around to where so Gannon's room is here, and then there's a storage closet here.
Okay.
And I heard something, and so I walked through the storage closet to open the storage closet, and when I do, it's him. And he was standing in there, and he had on gloves.
In the storage closet?
Yes.
Okay.
He had on
Okay. Okay.
And then he just knocked me down and like towards Gannon's room. And he was hitting on me, and it was like hard, like on the ground. And he was trying to like, rape me, and I just like, told her. I said, I have to tell you about this.
Okay.
And like from there on was like in a blur because I was trying so hard because Gannon had a table in his room, and I went back and hit my head on it. Like with him, Gannon runs inside the room
Mm-hmm.
and like tries to like, you know, be helpful, do something, whatever. And from there, it was kind of like a blur, everything else that was going on. Because I was just like crying, I was freaking out, and I swear to God, I don't know what. I really don't know. I had something in there. I don't.
Okay.
I don't. And I'm just like, in the moment thinking, like these memories of like, wow, you know, like the thing was open, he had the gun, and I didn't remember what happened there. And so I kind of like blacked out just a little bit. And so all these things are going into my mind as I'm blacked out. I don't know if like, I know he was like, when Gannon was like trying to get on him, I know he was like moving Gannon and, you know, like, and it was just all like, so like a cycle to me. And so I'm like out of it for a little bit, just for a little bit. And then from when the time I woke up, I say woke up, but like I kind of like that a little bit. And I immediately like freaked out. I was like, I couldn't find Gannon.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the guy was still in the house. Lena was on the way. I didn't know where Gannon was at because I was calling for Gannon. I thought he was hiding. Like I legit thought he was hiding in like maybe the other closet that was on the other side, the other, you know, whatever. I thought he was hiding. Like I was so scared. So I run up the stairs because I hear, you know, I know it's like almost time for Lena, and I hear that the Ring app had like an alert for someone at the front door, but it could have been just like Amazon or something driving by because there was nobody at the front door. And then I run back downstairs because in my mind I was like thinking, where is Gannon? And I didn't want to leave and like run outside and scream and, you know, go crazy because I did not know where he was at the time. And everybody says to me, you know, like, because I told Albert and them about it, and they're like, why didn't you like run to go get help? And I didn't want to leave to go get help, and I was terrified because I know Albert would kill me because Gannon was still in there.
Mm-hmm.
So then when I get downstairs, he has the gun, and he has Gannon, and I'm sitting there like freaking out, like, what am I doing? Blah, blah, blah. And Lena does make it through the door at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And then So I go upstairs because I know that he was like, don't say anything, because I didn't know if someone thought like it was a cop, or, you know, if someone heard something, or I didn't know anything. So my thought process was, if I say anything, Gannon's down here, you know, I need to just be as cool as possible at like, because we order things on Amazon like all the time, you know, books and things like that. So it was Lena. So the reason I sent Lena away was because I wanted her to be safe too. So I sent Lena on a mission to go get like the mail. Lena, it never gets the mail. Nothing like that. I sent her on a mission to go get the mail.
Okay.
And so I just started making up random things for Lena to go do. And I looked at Lena and I said, she was standing there, I was like, just stay gone for a little while. Because I didn't want her coming back and then that, you know, like her in the situation as we were too. So like in my mind, I think if I say anything, if I do anything, I just didn't know what to do. I was in complete panic. So I go back downstairs again and I'm like pleading and like talking and like all these things going on. Like just back and forth with him. And why are you doing this? Why did you hurt us? Why are you doing these things? And then it just started being like a hustle and puzzle, like back and forth. I don't even remember how it kept going for, you know, like maybe I say 5 or 10 minutes, but I don't know if it was that long. And then he was like on top of me again. And then I kind of lied out again because he hit my head again.
Oh, really?
And then, and then I was on the table that was inside, like in between the red blue table in there.
Okay.
He forced me in there again, and he was trying to do it again. And I was just like losing my mind, like completely. Like Albert's sister was raped. And so like in my mind I kept thinking Albert's gonna be like I'm nothing, and I shouldn't have been thinking about that. I should have been, but I was, and that was all I could keep thinking about, you know, like was like Albert was gonna sit upstairs, Gannon's over here, Lena's coming, and all these emotions are running through there. And he was like, he asked me to give him a suitcase, and I gave him a brown suitcase, and then he hit me on the head again, and I was like, right here. He kept like hitting me right there like that.
Okay.
And so then he did that, and then I wiped out again. I was having a panic attack. And then I don't know what happened from there. I really don't. I don't know. I just know that I did lie. I did. When they came, I did say, get a lift, whatever. You know that.
Okay.
But he never did. He never left to go play. Or I just didn't know what to do, and I panicked in the moment. And I didn't want Albert to be like trying to hurt us, because we kind of get a lot of fights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I just want you to know that's the only reason that I made up the lie, is because I knew that I didn't want to face the consequences of, you know, trying to explain to him all that was going on. Because he was saying to me, you're trying to make this about you. You know, this is not about you. And I knew all those things because I've lived in it. So I panicked, and I just told a story, and I was going to try to think of like, you know, plan. And I'm sorry that it might have delayed, you know, like looking for Gannon, but I do not know where Gannon was. I do not know. I do not know his whereabouts from that point on. But it was still in the same time frame that I gave you guys. So there was no contradictory to that same time frame, because it still was about 4 o'clock.
Okay, so go over the time frame with me. What was the time frame?
It had to be around like 4.
Okay.
Because Harley gets off at 4:30.
Okay.
And so Harley had just gotten home, or no, was on her way home or something. And my phone was like alerting. I knew Harley was on her way home. And I was going to tell Harley when she got there. I was going to be like, look, this is what happened. We need to get help. We need to call 911. And all I kept thinking about was, it's going to be my fault. And I gave him the code. He brought the carpet. He did all that.
Okay.
And
Did he fix it?
No, I had already cut it.
Oh, okay.
He brought the big roll of carpet. It's at the house. He brought that.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
where's that at the house?
it's in the back storage room.
Okay. Is that the one that he was hiding in? Is that the storage room that he was in?
Yes.
Whenever you went down there?
Yes, I put the carpet back in the storage room. The reason I put the carpet back in there because it was laying like in the like. So the storage room is right here. It had fallen over at some point when all this was going on. So I picked it up and put it back like on the thing. I rolled it up.
Oh.
It wasn't all the way rolled out, but it was like somewhat rolled out through the promotion, and I rolled it back up and put it
Okay.
on the inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So the time frame is that 4 o'clock is whenever.
I don't want to tell you exactly 4. I don't like saying that because I
About
don't
4
want you-
o'clock was whenever. We can say about.
Okay.
Okay. And then what happened after that?
So
Did
Lane
they come home or?
yeah, Lane is still out and about, Harley's home, comes home or whatever. I'm pacing the house, like trying to think of a plan of like, what do I do? And I should have like immediately like gotten on the phone, did whatever. But all I kept thinking about was, it's all my fault. It's my fault because Albert's going to say to me, you gave some stranger access to our home. You know, this is all on you. And in my mind, I thought I could fix it. Like in my mind, I thought I could fix this. And I don't know why I thought that. That was a horrible decision-making process. But it also was in a very emotional state that in normal situations, people can say all they want. I will call, I would do this, I would do this. But if you're not in a situation, everybody handles things differently.
Sure.
And I was making an irrational decision in a panic situation when I should have immediately, being an educator, being all these things, it should have been one of those things where it was immediate, know how to answer. And you might think, this girl's going to want to be a flight attendant. She's got to be able to think fast. It was not that easy in the moment because my mind was in so many directions that I could fix it. I literally thought I was going to fix it.
Sure.
And that was where it went from there. So I was going to tell Harley. I didn't tell Harley. I paced around the situation and was thinking, okay, if I don't have any kind of like information, like if I don't have a plan in my brain by a certain time, that's when I'm going to call somebody.
Okay.
And so that's how.
So you had like predetermined a time that you were going to call if you hadn't figured
I
anything
didn't
out?
come up with a specific time, but in my brain I kept saying, okay, I got to act soon. But I knew that, you know, I'm like thinking by 6:30, like I need to make a good decision because
Okay.
what am I going to tell the girls? Because they're going to be like, you know, like where's Gannon? Like because we were going to all go eat sushi, so that was where that time frame
Okay.
would have been like, what am I supposed to do? Go get in the car and be like, Gannon's not going with us. I couldn't keep going on and on with the irrational decision of not calling 911.
Okay.
And I had to stop the decision.
So what happened? So tell me what happened as it went on.
So I called 911
Okay.
and they said, hey, sorry, you know, this is not an emergency. You have to call this other line.
Okay.
So I called the other line and it was a 4-hour wait for them to get there.
Okay.
So 4 hours later, they came. I'm still in a panic set. I'm like, these people are, nothing I say is going to solve this situation. So I did say that Gannon left at this time. Again, I've admitted it's a very rational decision because it could have been more helpful to be honest and say, this is the description, here's who we're looking for, instead of like the situation being like, he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And that was horrible. I should have done that because I panicked.
Okay.
I need to make a decision.
Okay.
You know, and so from then on, that's when you guys came. They came through, asked me questions. They searched the house, every room, flashlight, you know, whatever. They went outside in the garage. They searched my car, blah, 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 blah.
Okay. And was Harley there at this time?
When they did the searches?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it took like 4 hours. So it was like later in the night that this had happened.
Okay. So when you say they searched your car, which car did they search?
Like my car, like the black car.
The black car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, so there was a deputy, there was like 6 or 7. And then one of those deputies that responded to the scene, he came around with a flashlight and he like searched like everything up and down every room, would ask me questions like, would this wallet be here? Would this be here? You know, like, would this be here? Would this be here?
Sure. Trying to figure out what's normal, what's not normal.
And I put everything back in order.
Okay.
Like I told you I moved the carpet, you know, I fixed the situation because I was being stupid. And I should have told them what had really happened.
Okay.
And so he went through everything. He went through the outside, he went through the car, he went through the trunk, he went through everything.
Like he actually got into the car?
He he wanted my ID,
Okay.
and he asked me. He said, "Do you mind if I look around?" He
Sure.
said, in the garage. He opened my car. In fact, he left my car to open because the next morning the back door was open.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he went in the car doors. I mean, I'm sure you guys have a record of who was in there. But he opened the car, opened up the truck. He looked through the bags that were in the truck. He looked through everything in the garage, with the bags, whatever were here. Came back in. He did the same thing, and like in different parts.
So he's trying to be like really thorough.
Yeah, like trying to be really, really thorough. He was going through every part of the house.
Okay.
And he asked me, was anything missing? And it was the truth. There was nothing missing because I did take the gun that he had. I did put the gun back.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Okay. So, was there anything else that happened on Monday? Like, did you talk to Harley about it, or
about what I told you?
Mm-hmm.
No, I told them the first situation.
Like what you told our dispatch?
Right.
That, and that was that Gannon went to go play at a friend's house.
Right.
And do you remember the friend's house name? Or?
I never gave anyone a name or anything at all.
Okay.
And also too, like, I didn't want to leave out any key points or whatever.
Sure.
I had my headphones on because when I was like upstairs when it all started, I had my headphones on, so my headphones were still on through the whole thing. So that's why if you ask me like did you hear any noises? Did you hear anyone leaving? Did you hear the alarm go back off? I had my headphones still on. They were still on my head.
When you came inside the house?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like I had my headphones still on when I came inside the house. Like not coming in the house with them, but like in the house. When I went downstairs, I still had my headphones on.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I did like this.
Okay, so help me understand.
Yeah.
So when you came into the house, you didn't have them on, but then you had them on when you went downstairs?
Yeah, because I came in doing like a normal, I would get ready to listen to music, I was going to work out thing.
Oh, okay.
So I you like move them back and forth.
What kind do you have?
Like I have Beats audio.
Like the ones that go over or like they come in?
Yeah, the ones that like they kind of like smash your head in or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I always have to,
Like,
I always have
on
to,
your head?
I always have to like move them, like back and forth and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's what I was doing, like moving them when I was like, do I hear something? Because it's kind of like I heard something, but I wasn't sure that I heard something at all. And that's when I started going downstairs.
Okay. And are they like noise canceling or anything like that, or ambient sound, or do they just do like play regular music?
I mean, I think they would be noise canceling, right? Because that would be.
I don't know. I think you can get them either way.
That would be Beats. I'm not sure.
I think you can get them either way.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if you knew.
Yeah, I don't know. We have two different pairs, and the one we have two different, and I know one of them is like the push, like push in kind or whatever, and the other one doesn't push in as much, and I have the ones that like. So that might.
Do you have two different pairs?
No, Albert. I'm saying like we have two.
As a family.
Yeah.
Okay. So which ones were you wearing?
Mine.
Okay. Which color are those?
I feel like they're like a gold or maybe like a matte gold or.
Okay. And what color are Albert?
Black and red, I think.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. We just want to make sure
Yeah.
that, like if we see them or whatever again, then we know which ones are yours,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
ones
yeah.
are his. So that it's like, if you said that your head got hit and stuff like that, and we'll go back to that a little bit, but maybe if he like touched them or something like that, then we want to make sure that we get the right ones, right?
Right.
Okay. So was there anything else that happened Monday, like after the deputies left or anything like that?
No. So I went out to my car that morning because I knew that Albert was going to fly in or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so normal, like routine, like I got up, whatever. I got in my car and I realized that the guy had left the back door open. And then so I was like, oh, my car might not crank. And I, drive out and I drive down the street because I was going to drive my car, blah, 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 to pick it up. And I decided to come back because it was too early. His flight wasn't coming in until 8:53.
Okay.
And I was going to honestly just drive. I had to think in my brain, I was like, this is the best thing. But I didn't. I just drove down the street and came back.
And that was in your black car?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you ended up picking him up later?
Yeah.
And you took your black car to do that?
No. So what happened is I took my black car, But I sent him a message earlier and I said, hey, is it okay if we get a rental car?
Okay.
And he said, yes. I have a leased vehicle, so you can only put like 1,000 miles on it. And I'm like pretty anal about, like I don't want to go over and that type of thing.
Okay.
So his car is very expensive on gas. So I was going to get I did get a little economy car, and I knew we'd be driving around everywhere. Everybody was like searching. And in my mind, I was like freaking out because I'm going to be blamed because they found our codes and our home. And so I was like, I know we're going to drive everywhere all day. So I was like, I'm going to get a rental car.
Okay.
So I did. And so I got my rental car, and I left my black car at the airport.
You left it at the airport.
Right. Because I had to have a way to, like, I didn't walk. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Albert asked me where my car was at, and I told him it was at French. The reason I told him that is because Albert and I get in a lot of fusses about this whole working and changing career thing that you guys, I told you about in the beginning. And that was like a personal situation that I didn't want to fuss with him about, like the working and changing, you're going to give up your career for this, and this. So I just said, he knew I had just worked at French. So he knew that. So I said, it was at French, one of my friends brought me. That's what I told him.
Okay.
So that's why he thought it was at French, but it was my way of, so he thought that I wanted him, he knew I had to go get my stuff from French because I stopped working there. And that's kind of, I wanted it to go with the story because I wasn't ready yet to tell him I wasn't returning at all to education. It just wasn't.
Okay, so he doesn't know that yet.
Well, he knows that, like, I'm going to be a flight attendant, and, oh, never mind, I can't do it because I've been back and forth. You're going to go from making I make like 60 grand to, I think they make like $18 to $20 an hour, but you can only do so many things, like reserve shifts, you got my crash pads. So I'm back and forth on something I really want to do and the money. So I went back and forth with him on that, and that was just one of those things where I just wasn't prepared to be like, oh, you're going to be a teacher again. Oh, you're going to do this again. Oh, you're back at the school again. Blah blah blah.
Okay.
So you're back at subbing again. So
you drove to the airport in your black car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What time did you do that?
His flight landed at 8:50 something. So I got there in time to park my car, and then I walked up to the thing, and he was coming down the escalator, and then I go over to budget, and I get the rental car. He's sitting on the little corner over here, waiting on his bags. We walk out, we get the car.
Okay. And so where did you park your car at the airport? Do you remember?
In the short-term parking, maybe about like a middle.
Okay.
It's a long, like the short-term, I say. It goes from, you got the rental cars, a section here, section. So it went to like the farther section, and maybe like over here.
Okay. Okay. And then, so you're in your black car this morning?
Right.
Okay.
Because I had to turn the rental car back in.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So you picked your car up this morning?
No. So I took the rental car back last night because I didn't know what time situation, he's upset with me for not telling you guys first, so that, it could have been a quicker search or whatever the case may be. So I didn't know, like, I thought we were going to have to stay, like in a hotel or something. So I parked my car. My Harley picked me up because I was going to get a room at a hotel.
Okay.
And so I thought you guys did that because it was sheriff's there this morning. So.
Well, people are working different pieces,
Yeah.
and so I just want to make sure that while we're talking that I have all of the information, right? So if I ask you something that you feel like has already been covered before, I'm not trying to be a brat or anything like that. Yeah. I just want to make sure we have everything. We're all on the same page with everything. Right. Okay. So you drove the rental car back last night, early this morning.
No, it was last night. It wasn't that late.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then Harley picked you up, and you left your car at the airport still?
No. Okay, so I drove my car. I drove the rental car back. Got in my car.
Okay.
Left.
Okay.
Okay, so I didn't have anywhere to go because they're fussing at me, and people were everything's going on in the searches and things like that. So I didn't really have anywhere to go, and some of my stuff was at home, so I didn't have a car to get gas. I didn't have anything like that. So I was basically like just, like going somewhere, parking, like trying to stay warm because it got a little bit cold or whatever.
Sure. So
finally was gave in and was like, Albert, look. And he was like, I need you to tell me the truth. And that's when I started messaging her that, hey, Wood, I'm going to come home and I'm sorry. I'll tell you exactly what happened. It's all my fault because I should have let everyone know that I gave someone the code. And I tried to replace the car. So at that point, I leave my car at the hotel, which was near Harley's work.
Okay.
And Albert was like, you guys coming? I said, yes. We're on our way. I leave my car at the hotel the entire night and leaving Harley's car. We stay at home tonight, last night, and then I come back with Harley when she came to work this morning, and I walk over to the hotel.
Okay. So had you gone and gotten a hotel room and then changed your mind and decided to stay home?
No,
parked your car?
No, I parked my car because I was going to get a hotel. And my thought process was if we got in Harley's car and went home, and I didn't want people like his ex-wife is there, I didn't want people like, the domestic type situations like going on, just me, myself against, like her family and that type of thing. So my plan was we'll just come back here and stay at the hotel if we have to.
Sure.
So that was the whole point of me leaving my car there.
Okay. Do you remember which hotel it was?
Yes, it's the IHC, the Holiday Inn that was right there.
Holiday Inn?
Yeah, and again, that's where the police were at all morning, where my car was at.
We were?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it could have been something separate, but I just assumed because when I got in my car to pick it up, I'm just like,
work
at the one at Center Point.
Center Point?
Mm-hmm.
So over by like the movie theater and stuff like that? Okay. And it was sheriff cars or CSPD cars?
El Paso, whatever. White and maybe green, maybe white and something.
Okay.
I just assumed they were there because you guys think my car was there, but I parked it there because we only drove one car in case we came back.
Okay.
To stay at the hotel. So.
Okay.
But yeah, it was parked there.
Okay.
And then I picked it back up this morning. So.
Picked it back up this morning?
Yeah.
And then you came here, or did you go anywhere first?
No, I was just driving around because I was on the phone trying to figure out situations for, like, my mom was getting, like I told you, was getting all those messages. So I wanted to, like, talk to them because they were freaking out and I hadn't been able to talk to them in the last 24 hours. So at that point, my mom was like really worried that I hadn't told her why are these people, sending her death threats, and so at that point in time I had to make that decision to focus on making sure my mom knew, like, hey, listen, don't respond to anything people say, and that type of thing.
So I did have one question. I know, like, and it was probably really frustrating. I know your husband was upset and stuff like that too. Like we took a long time to get out there for, I guess we were under the impression that it was a runaway or whatever.
Right.
So it took longer.
Sending her death threats, and so at that point in time I had to make that decision to focus on making sure my mom knew, like, hey, listen, don't respond to anything people say, and that type of thing.
So I did have one question. I know, like, and it was probably really frustrating. I know your husband was upset and stuff like that too. Like we took a long time to get out there for, I guess we were under the impression that it was a runaway or whatever.
Right.
So it took longer to get out there to you guys. But in the meantime, like when we did get out there, there's like all these people out in the neighborhood and like stuff going on in Facebook and stuff like that. How did that happen? Like,
Albert had someone else start talking on Facebook.
Okay.
One of the kids' moms.
Okay.
So she like initiated something on Facebook, and then of course all the people comment on it.
Okay.
Because the community page is a quite active page for.
Okay. I didn't know if like you had posted something or if Albert.
Not originally. He had the little Cambria
Okay.
to post an original post initially, and then.
Okay. Is that like a friend of your guys's or?
That's one of the kids, Braden's mom.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I want to go back a little bit.
Okay.
Just to kind of.
I could like use the restroom really fast.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure.
I didn't get to eat all this. But I have to be like. Is it?
No, we're coming back.
Okay. I was gonna say, was it like a long-term process or something like that?
No, you can just leave everything wherever it is, and we don't have to like clean up anything or anything like that. And I'll just show you where the restroom is. Do you want to leave that here or move what? Your hot pocket. Oh, you don't want to take it to the bathroom, right?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Put my toaster on it.
There you go. Thank you. Anything else? Do you need another coat?
Okay, thank you.
Water or anything?
And yeah. No, I'm sorry, yeah. I know. I can't just lose his job. If he loses his job, I don't know. I don't, like, it wouldn't work out that well. Yeah. I know. I'm not going to do that because Albert will lose his job. Okay. All right, let me do. Sorry, I didn't know you were on the phone. It's okay. Sorry, you know, a little caffeine. Oh. Okay. So I just want to back up with you. We kind of have like a good overview of everything, but so we can start really narrowing down to try and find Gannon and everything else like that. I just want to try and get some more specific stuff on everything. Yeah. So I just write some stuff down. So, so going back to the just a little bit to the fire part, Mm-hmm.
you said that Gannon had some stuff on his arms. What part of his arms was that?
Like I don't remember, like the inner area.
You just point to like wherever.
Like in this, like in the inner area, like this.
Okay, so like right here.
Yeah, but like the burns were like not like you're thinking like round burns. It was more of like not like burns that are like this. Right here.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of not necessarily burns, but like a little bit like skin. Like it was like skin peeling, like in like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that was like on his left arm, his right arm.
It was on both arms because remember when I came in, I took the covers and like basically like got on top of both of, like on him and the fire.
Oh.
Not like him pushing him on the fire, but like you know, like I was just trying to get the fire out.
Okay.
And he was like hanging off the side of the off the side of the sofa.
And he was still asleep?
No, he was like saying my name, like he was alert, like what's going on because he had just like woken up.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was not having a full conversation with me, but as in just like calling my name, and he's like, I'm so sorry. He kept saying he's sorry. He didn't mean to do it. Daddy's been got me for a year. So it was him thinking, oh my gosh, shoot. Like kind of like waking up being like, oh shit, I just made a mistake. Like we would say in the mind of a kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that for me. Okay. So the next day, you go to, like, you're trying to figure out how to get this carpet fixed. And you said that you had already, you cut the carpet?
I cut the carpet.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you use to cut the carpet?
I had Albert has like these tools that are like wood working tools, like chisels and I don't know the specific name of the ones, but they're like a little saw thing. And I just like took the carpet and did like this.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I didn't necessarily saw it, but I just kind of was like, they're very sharp tools. He has a lot of woodworking tools and stuff in the garage. So I just took one of those things, got like a handle and.
What color? You know, like he used.
Because I tried with the box cutter,
Uh-huh.
but I couldn't, like it wasn't like deep enough to like really pull whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I tried a couple times with the box cutter until it kind of like started the process, but then I had to get like a stronger object or whatever
Okay.
to do it.
Okay, sure. So you cut the carpet, and then you guys are gonna go try to figure out how to like get this fixed or whatever else. So you said that you went over to like where some new construction is. Do you remember? Can you tell me more about that?
I'm not familiar with the area. I mean, I could, if you want me to drive you there, or next, like, or whatever. I don't know, like, they give you street names if that's what you're asking.
Sure, that's fine. But can you just describe it for me a little bit better?
Okay, so like the school, there's the school in the back, and so there's a bunch of new builds
Okay.
that are in the area right near the school.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember, like, when you went to the new builds and stuff like that, was it, like, the first house in or, like, 12 houses in? Or
Yeah, I was
how far in did you have to
There
go?
was a couple. I'd rather just go show you because you're going to quote me on me telling you an estimate of the number, and I don't think that's fair to me. So I can give you an accurate description of which house it was.
Okay. Well, for now, let's go with what you kind of remember. Like, do you remember, did you have to drive far in there or just a short distance?
I don't know what you mean by like far in there.
Like, into where the new builds are.
They're all like, you just go around. It's like in loops.
Okay.
So I don't know what you're asking.
Okay.
So far.
Sure.
I mean, I could show you. I just don't know your terms of distance that you're asking me. Like,
Okay. Well, I guess, like, so you're saying that they're, like, in a loop or whatever?
no, the whole area is in like there's loops, there's streets, there's
Okay.
like different sections of the new build.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's like, I can show you because you're going to quote me on me giving you hand motion and things like that. And that's not fair to me being on a conversation. That's just not fair. And I'm sure if I had a attorney here, he would say, we're going to go show instead of just
Okay.
giving you something that would be an estimate.
So you went to the new build and you found this guy and asked him about
Yeah, his name was Eduardo.
Eduardo?
He said, or Eduardo, I don't know how to say the Spanish names right, but Eduardo,
Okay.
something like maybe I'm saying it wrong, but I heard Eduardo.
With like a G?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it might be a J if it's the Spanish. I'm not sure how they do it, but I'm not Spanish, but Eduardo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he said he told you that was his name?
Yeah, he said Eduardo.
Okay.
Yeah. And so maybe about like 5'8", really skinny. He had on a tool belt. Had on like a sweater vest, like a cold weather vest. I think it was red. I don't really remember exactly, but he did have blue jeans on and he had on the combat boots or whatever. I'm assuming in my mind that this was just this was somebody who was he looked like he was a legit worker. There was people, like on the houses. There was people working in different areas, so I didn't think it was
Sure.
that he was a legit, not necessarily a contractor, but someone that was going to be able to.
Someone knowledgeable to be able to
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
And I didn't explain to him what had happened. Like, I didn't say, okay, this happened. I said, we need a piece of carpet. Do you have the carpet for this model of home?
Okay. And what did he say?
He said yes. And I was like, do you have the carpet? And I gave him like a hand reference of like the size that I would need. And he said, yes, we have a roll for that. They have I don't know if he said they had all of them have the same, and there's model homes or the same color. He was saying something I don't really know the definition of that, but some certain homes have the same exact thing and everything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, might have the same floor in one, the same, because a lot of the homes are the same every 5 houses or whatever.
Right.
So
Like they have like 3 or 4 houses that they build over and over and over again.
Right.
Okay. And they put the same finishings in them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was my assumption that I had taken from that.
Okay. And so he said that they had it, and then what happened next as far as like him having it?
So
Do you need to get that?
No. It was I just always check to make sure it's not my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're on the way, Mom. So he said he was going to bring the carpet and fix it. And I gave him the code to get into the garage.
Okay. And you had mentioned that you thought maybe you would find somebody that would want to do like a side job or whatever else. Like how much did he say he was going to charge you for doing this and for the carpet and stuff like
Right.
that?
So we never had made that just like that conversation. I just said, hey, and I'll give you a small donation. So what I did was I said, okay, I think my ex-husband, Holly's dad, he used to like work in like sheetrock and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, little jobs like this, back home would have been like $10 an hour. Here, it's probably a little more, like $15, $20 an hour, whatever. And I said, I'll give you a small donation. You didn't ask me earlier about the part, so sorry if we messed up. And I said, I'll give you a small donation. And then in my mind, a donation was going to be $50. So that's exactly, I had cash. That's exactly what I had was the $50 like on the counter. And I explained that to him, that it would be on the counter. Thank you for, doing it. Make sure the garage is closed. And like I said, you didn't ask me all that, but I did go through a conversation. I just didn't be like, hey, bring the carpet. Here's the carpet.
And that's why
I don't want you to think that, because that is
we
not what happened. I went through the process of make sure you close the garage back. We have a security system. I told him we had cameras. I talked it up through the conversation. Okay. To let him know that this is the steps and, the processes and stuff like that were followed.
Okay. So let's talk about that conversation a little bit, just because we didn't, and that's why we should go back and get, more information and everything else like that. So he says he has the carpet, and then did you ask him, like, okay, can I just have the carpet, or did you ask him, like, can you fix it for me, or did he volunteer to fix it for you?
What do you mean just have it?
Like, did you ask him if he would just give you the carpet, or like...
I was going to be like a package deal, I was assuming. But it's just like, I wasn't asking for like the carpet for the size room. I gave him like the like the size. So in my mind is if he's bringing a scrap like rolls or scraps or whatever, that's already some extra from the job.
Okay. So you didn't ask him to just like bring you carpet so you could fix it. You asked him to come and fix it for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I had in my mind to fix it. But then I was like, you have to measure, and then like, because I changed tools, like one side was going to be like this length, so if you cut it different on that side, and it just was a little out of my thought process so that I could.
Okay, yeah. Have you, like, if you've never done carpet before, I would imagine that like trying to patch something would be kind of hard,
right?
Especially if you had to use different stuff to cut it. Okay. Okay. So he agrees to come to your house to fix it. So you give him the address.
Yes. I went through the whole spiel. Here's where it's at, like here's money, how much we do back home. I mean, it was probably like a good 2-3 minute conversation of the specifics that needed to be done. And I did that out of panic because I needed to get it fixed. I didn't want to put it on Craigslist because people say call me or this and they upcharge and we need to replace the whole section and things like that.
And did he tell you like what he would charge you, or did you just say this is how much I'm willing to pay?
No, I just immediately said that I was going to give a donation, like in the terms of I didn't really have a lot to give you, but can you like hook me up? But I kind of was like, can you like hook me up like that? Being more of like a please do this for me, I really need it. I don't have a lot of money.
Like a favor?
Yeah, because if he's on the job working and he makes so much an hour and can make an extra $50 that day, that was 150 might turn into 200.
Gotcha.
So in my mind of thinking of doing that was back to the times that Holly's dad would do the same thing. He would be like, don't go pay a subcontractor. Just go get someone who wants to work after hours, or whatever. And so that was my thought process. That'd be cheaper, faster. Someone will come do it right away. And then we're done with the situation.
Okay. So
What did you tell him as far as like how to get into the house and stuff like that?
What do you mean how to get? I just gave him the garage code.
Okay.
And I explained where the carpet needed to be replaced. So, I mean,
Okay.
there's no like, when you enter in a home, there's no like specifics. You just upstairs, downstairs. That's it.
Okay. So you told him it was downstairs and kind of the area that it was in, or?
You walk downstairs, you would have saw it.
Okay.
Like it wouldn't have been like you needed to go search for it. I mean, that's common sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not saying you common sense. I'm saying to the person that's common sense, like, oh, that's carpet, you know. Because see, I had took the rug right here when I showed the police when they came. I had took the rug and put like a piece of carpet that was on it. But the problem with the piece of carpet that was on it was that was a piece of carpet that was from the outside.
Oh,
Like, you know what I'm saying? So we walk on it. And,
it was like an extra piece.
right. And I mean, sure, they could have, you know, used the same carpet, but I needed a carpet to fit a specific size. So if someone had extra carpet, then why not go ahead and fix the whole thing, you know?
Sure.
And we could have a little extra roll for, hopefully if there's ever an emergency or anything like that.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
Because I thought that there would have been some somewhere. Like,
In your house?
right.
Okay.
Because, you know, like sometimes, you know, like I knew like when we had our home, we sold it, we left our square, what are they called? The hardwood floors. And we left like maybe like 10 little sheets and things like that. So like I thought, you know, but in my mind, like, okay, no, I'm just going to go. I hadn't seen anything, so I had to, you know,
Go
find it. Yeah.
Okay.
And you act so much differently when you're trying to be impulsive and hurry up and get it done, quick decision, when I probably could have just been like, hey, you know, let's look at something that we have maybe in the back corner. We could have cut a piece out or something like that. But I didn't want to go mess up another lady's house.
An old lady's house?
Another lady's house. But it was her house. Like the renter, like the owner, we rent from them.
Okay, so you rent.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you guys owned.
No.
My bad. Okay. So, so you left, so you went there, you said that he was about 5'8".
Yeah.
Okay. What color hair did he
I
have?
say 5. My husband's 6, but just a little bit shorter, skinny, dark hair like mine. You might think I'm Hispanic, so like I'm really brown in the summer, but
He wasn't here too. You're Hispanic.
I know, but people always think that. So skin complexion was a lot darker than mine.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you want me to give you like a skin complexion thing, but I would say like middle to tannish
Okay.
color.
And was his hair, like, did it have texture to it? Was it straight? Was it curly?
Well, he had a thing on his head, so it was like a little, I don't know, like a hat piece or something. And it was just, I can't tell you like a hairstyle because he had like a little brown like strap thing around it, but it was just like almost like jet black hair.
Okay.
But it wasn't like long.
Okay. And then, what was his face shape like?
Maybe like a little chubbier than mine,
Okay.
like more rounded.
Was there anything about his face that like stands out that would help us be able to find him? Like that would we be able to be like, that's the guy right there? Like, did he have?
Well, I was wondering if there was like some bad saying, but like maybe like a little bit of is it craters or like the little holes. I don't say holes. No, like you know how you can see some people and it's got like a little like holy like skin from the acne.
like acne?
Yeah, like stars.
Yeah, that's really good stuff.
Yeah,
Don't
so,
feel bad about telling
like acne, like scars were kind of like present just a little bit there.
Okay.
And not bad though, not like, you know, super bad, but it could have been like even more like wrinkles or like whatever. But it's just a little section of like right here, but you can tell it was just like from like age or whatever.
Okay.
Or maybe even from dryness. I don't know. I wasn't giving him a skin consultation, but I do remember there was like little spots here.
Okay. Did he have any facial hair?
Yes. He had a mustache that went right here, like around in this area, and that was completely it.
Okay.
It went like this here. Like the...
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to give you this because I don't know how to say the wording.
Okay. Just a mustache.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said his hair was like jet black. Do you remember like could you tell approximately how long it was?
for his hair.
Like, was it long, short?
Yeah, I just told you that. I just said it wasn't long. It was the belt like barely fit around it and like flat, like like little flat pieces here.
Mm-hmm.
So, not bald, but not long. Nothing was hanging on the shoulders or anything like that.
But it wasn't like a military cut or anything like that.
Yeah, no, not a military cut or anything else.
Okay, so kind of like medium length. Okay. And then, how old do you think he was?
I would say easily late 30s, early 40s.
Okay.
And based upon me thinking that too about the facial structure, you know how you look at some people's skin and the lacticity or whatever it is different. Like those little, you could tell that had been there for a while.
Okay.
Almost like it was like I don't know, a sunburn, but almost like you could just tell something had been. That's a very unique feature I just wanted you to have, because that wasn't something that, like, hey, did the person have lipstick? This was, on their face that would be permanent.
Sure. Do you remember seeing any tattoos or any other like?
No, I didn't remember seeing. I just remember the vest. I didn't see any tattoos. He had a shirt under the vest. I don't know, shirt or jacket.
Okay.
I mean, like, I say under the vest, but like, how you have the vest over and people wear the shirt? Yeah. That's like a Colorado thing, but kind of.
What color was the jacket? Do you remember? Or
I just remember the red part, because remember I told you earlier, I was like, I think it's red, but I was talking about this top layer. So,
yep.
Yeah.
That the vest was red.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't know if you remembered what color the shirt was that was underneath.
No, I
your
don't.
view. Okay.
I don't.
And then you said he had boots on.
Yeah, he had on like the Rocky boots, or like the construction boots that were like,
Do you remember what color they were?
yeah, they were that light tan, like a sand.
Okay.
And he had, remember I told you he had the belt thing. I don't know, everybody had the belt, but I just,
You said it was a tool belt?
yeah, it was like a strap thing that had his pocket. I mean,
Okay.
and remember I told you that at the scene. I don't remember like a specific color. It was just, oh yeah, you see somebody, you're like, oh, person in black shirt, person whatever. I didn't.
Okay.
And I do, but the face did stick out, and I wish I was good at drawing, because I'd want you to notice that or whatever. And it was like more rounded, kind of like craters type thing.
Sure. And then, and you went through the fact that, so you guys left there and you went to Petco?
Well, we already talked about, I don't know if I got gas beforehand or not, but I told you guys I would be more than willing to give you the information from an exact travel for the route. But we immediately left the Worsted Ranch area. That's what you're at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was, you had said you were going to leave him the cash on the bar. Did you go back and put that there, or were you going to or had you left that there whenever you left?
No. So we have, I always have everything that was in with all the notes and everything like that was in the drawer that sits on this side of the kitchen or whatever. Okay. I had cash put in there because I had gotten, I was playing the lottery, so I had gotten cash back from the lottery, and I had already laid it out on the counter. My mindset was, the reason I already laid it on the counter was not because I had it predetermined I was going to leave it out for a specific person. I already had it laid out on the counter because I was going to give that money to Harley, because Harley has been paying on the dog, because Chance, we financed him.
Okay.
I say finance him, but she's paying him back or whatever, and we always give her a portion of Chance and a portion of her car payment. So I was going to give that back to her anyway.
Okay.
And so in that moment, I don't even remember when I came in that I checked to see that the whole, I left her $100, but I didn't check in the moment if that $100, so when I walked in, I didn't say, hey, there was only 20 there. And my mind wasn't thinking about, it was gone. So I thought, okay. But in my conversation with him, here's how much you want to do, donation, blah, blah, blah. So when I come in, I didn't think to go look to see if he left the remainder of the $100. Like, that just wasn't in my mindset, because
it was already there on the counter whenever you had left.
Right, and that was just because when Holly got in, I was going to tell her that was usually, I Zilly her money, or, whatever we pay.
You what?
Zilly.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, everyone else does Zilly, so it's kind of like Apple Pay or whatever.
Okay.
But they usually, I Zilly her money or things like that. But I would know this, I haven't had my USAA credit card in such a while, so I didn't have a way to go get it or whatever, so I had lottery ticket money.
Okay.
So I was like, I would use the lottery ticket money that I'd been stashing to go buy new lottery tickets.
Okay. And do you remember, was that like when you put it out there, was it like 20s?
Yeah, so it's always tens, and the reason it's always tens is because I tell myself I'm not playing anything like above the 10 amount.
Okay.
And I go to the Safeway all the time and put it in that machine.
Okay.
If you put more than $10 in that machine, they're going to keep it, and you have to.
Oh, okay.
You have to ask, like, you know, you got to put a 20 in there. You got to spend 20 in lottery tickets.
Okay. So you had $10 or $100 and $10 bills on the counter when you left.
Yes.
Okay. So you weren't worried, you didn't have to go back to like put that back out for him before you went out.
Yeah, no, and I didn't intentionally like leave it and say, you know, whatever. In my mind when I left, because I didn't know like, hey, what time? I didn't have a specific time. I knew I needed to be back before Lena, but usually Holly gets off at 3:15, so I was assuming she might meet me back home.
Okay.
But she works. Remember I told you like they were having people having to take shifts and all that, so she ended up working till later in the day.
Sure. Okay. All right. So, and then you come home. Let's talk about what happens when you come home. Okay. And I know that that it can be difficult to talk about.
And I didn't want to talk about that part without. I'm one of those people that tries to like not think that mental health is always an issue or like things like that. And in my mind, I was afraid of the whole like, oh, it's causes mental health problems, you know, like that type of thing. So
sure,
talking about it, I'm trying to like, don't think if I'm like emotions, I'm trying to be the blocker to think that I'm not going to let that be a stigma that I'm going to have mental health problems because of this. So that's
no, and what I was going to say is because, you know, I've been a special victims unit detective, and so I've had to investigate different types of assaults and sex assaults and stuff like that with adults and children. Mm-hmm. And so I just kind of want to let you know, and this is, you know, I would let anybody that I was going to have this conversation know that that's what I've experienced with, and that it can be a hard thing to talk about, and that I understand that. And that it can be kind of a sensitive subject, and like people don't always want to say specifics, but for us, like, to be able to document everything and to be able to really pursue it, we have to get into the specifics. And I just want to apologize up front for that, because I know it can be uncomfortable. Does that make sense? Are you okay? Do I have to talk about that? I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to be dreaming so anymore. I'm sorry, you don't want what? Like dreaming. I want to dream anymore. I gotta keep saying it. Like in my mind, I keep saying it. And I'm trying to block it. I'm fighting a battle, blocking out exactly everything, you know. Sure. Well, so you just ask. Like, I can say yes or no. Or I just don't want to be like really specific in terms of, are you talking about like, you're going to ask me questions about like, so what I'd like you to do is start by telling me what you remember hearing whenever you came in that day. And then, and as you walk me through it, I'll have to ask you some questions. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So you, and correct me if I get anything wrong. Okay? You had said earlier that whenever you came in, that you thought maybe that Gannon had come into the house first. I'm almost positive he went into the house first, because I had to get the bags that we had purchased. Okay. The Petco bag. Sure. And you guys came in through the garage, correct? I want to say the garage. I'm like 80% that it was the garage, because we parked on the front without the shop. Okay. So you come in through the garage. Gannon has already come inside. What's the first thing you remember seeing whenever you come inside? I usually always go in to think about, you know, hey, I need to
let the dogs out. Hey, I need to do this.
Mhm.
You know, like that is my mentality, is to go in to do that. And the alarm could tell if no, it won't, because I had put those things on there. See, that's where the hard part is, because I can't give you the exact time, because yeah, but it might. And some of the sensors, remember I told you I had the things going on, and we had put the little towel things on them or whatever. Some of the sensors were picking up, but some of them weren't. So I can't give you the like exact time. If I went in, I could tell you if I went in and went upstairs or went downstairs first by the motion. But the motion was all off because I had put
towels.
Right.
You hadn't pulled those down from the night before yet.
Yeah, like in my mind, that was not like, some of them, like the one in the corner, like hangs off the side, so it might have picked it up or it might have not. So if it wasn't for that, I could tell you by that, did I go straight in and go straight to the basement? Because it would say like,
Well, so
there's responsibility.
I want to, so with this kind of conversation, it's really all about what you remember and what your perspective
Right.
is. Okay.
So I remember it was just basically being, you know, like normal, because I'm excited. We got, you know, new clothes for the pets, and we're coming in the door, yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
The day's halfway through. I knew I had specific responsibilities to continue out the rest of the night. My brain hadn't said, hey, you need to go check or anything with the money yet, because I just wasn't on that, you know, that direction yet.
Sure.
I was on the direction I wanted to work out, I wanted to listen to my music, I wanted to, you know, like relax. That was my mindset. So it wasn't to be like, okay, this here, this, that type of thing. Sure. It should have been, because I gave someone the code to get into our house, but in my experience in Lorton Ranch, it's been that, you know, most everyone has people, they give people their codes and let them come in and fix things, and you know, like you can do the Amazon packages and have them delivered inside the door. So I wasn't thinking, you know, like I need to run in and check, make sure it's okay. If I felt that I was doing a harmful situation, that would have been my first off, I wouldn't have done it. But second off, I would have went in immediately and been like, did he fix what he's supposed to do? Did he think something from the home? That would have been my initial thing. So it was a normal, I want to listen to music, I want to work out. I don't know, I might have got something to drink. I don't, up and down dogs, that type of thing. That would have been my, you know, mentality. But what, I didn't hear anything until I had my headphones on, and I thought, like, it's one of those things where you thought you heard something, because like the downstairs, if anybody makes any kind of noise, like a boing, it's like it echoes really loud.
Oh, really?
Like it has like a louder echo through the vent.
Okay.
So even sometimes, whether you're asking about noise counseling or not, even like having things on or not, sometimes it's just the way that, you know, they're sitting on there, you hear something, you know, and that was like, you know, almost like an echo noise.
Okay.
And that was, and below my room would be that storage room.
Okay.
So
you were in your room when you heard that?
So when I heard that, I don't remember if I was, I know I had the headphones on.
Okay.
I don't remember if I was in the room or walking back and forth, because I had a big speaker box over here. And then either I played the big speaker or played the headphones or however on the big speaker back and forth. So I don't know if I was like here, there. Again, I wish I could give you the motion thing, because that would give you a better time, like a 254 or whatever, 255 here, there, like that. But when I heard it, that's when I was just kind of like, oh, did I hear something? Remember, I even told you earlier, I had a couple of times before I even thought that would be of a concern.
So when you thought you heard something, what happened there?
So I don't remember if it was one or two times or whatever that I kind of was like doing this here, and like back and forth. And that's when I told you that I, you know, started to walk down the stairs. And I told you that Daniel was on to the right of the area.
Okay.
Like when you walk down the stairs, he was on the right of the area.
Okay.
And the guy was over here.
Okay. And was the guy just out, or?
So the noise was probably because of like moving around, I guess, or whatever. And the door was like almost not necessarily like a semi-crack, but well, maybe a little semi-crack. I don't know if he was looking out, like peeking out or anything like that. And so I noticed that someone was right there. And that's when immediately it was just, there was no, it wasn't like, hey, how are you? It was, if someone's in your home, they're not there to, when they're not supposed to be doing whatever, they're not there to like talk to you. It was immediate from then on that it went to that. Ganna came in.
Okay.
Tried to get on.
So let's slow all that part down.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you go downstairs. you notice somebody's there. What's the next thing that happened?
So I noticed that he was there, and he had, I told you, when I went in my room earlier, one of the things that I remember triggered, not that it triggered, but I thought was odd, but I had my shades, and I remember I told you my doors were open to the cabinet in the room.
Okay.
So I noticed that they were open, so that kind of, my mind was like, did I leave that open? But that also set off the fact of when your brain runs rapidly and you're looking, you're like, gosh, that's why that door was open.
Okay.
That
So like you put it together.
Right. I put it together very, very quickly. And so that part ran back in my mind. And so immediately when he saw that, he saw me, I don't know if the intentions was to us to come in that soon. I don't know the intention if it was to do anything, because I don't think the intentions was going to be like taking anything from us, because it was he already had on gloves. He already had obtained a gun from our home, like had already done those things, and immediately it was in attack mode for me.
Okay.
And from there, and I didn't mention to you, I did go in the cabinet because I take a lorazepam for anxiety, and I was like already super anxiety from like having all this, like going on and stuff like that, like fire and stuff like that. So I took 2 lorazepams. So I did go in, take two lorazepams and blah, blah, yada, yada.
And that was in the cabinet, the lorazepam, or was that somewhere else?
Like in the kitchen?
No, you said that you went in. Where was?
I'm sorry. Like in the kitchen, we have a kitchen cabinet. I should say that to you.
Okay.
The cabinet that I'm talking about, that the doors are, is a bedroom cabinet. I say cabinet. It's like a armoire, like a smaller one that has doors that open. Okay. I should specify cabinet, thing or something.
Right.
The bedroom one, the kitchen one would be where the
medication.
Right. So I did take. That's why I said I think I might have got some drink or something, but I did take 2 lorazepams.
Okay.
And so that I did do that, and then I did come down with it.
Okay. So just so we're clear, the kitchen cabinet was where your medication was. Describe for me the armoire in the bedroom where the shades and your gun was.
So you want to know like what's in it, or like what?
What does it look like? What color is it?
Sorry, so it's silver, like almost like a chromish color with like glass.
Okay.
And it does have handles, like little knobs that you can pull on or like pull open. And then of course they have like, I keep my important documents in there, like a passport.
Does it have drawers or anything?
No drawers.
Okay.
It has the insert,
Like shelf?
the shelf.
Okay. Perfect. And where does that fit in your bedroom?
If you walk in the room, like say I'm like opening the door, walking in the room, it's exactly right here.
Okay. And does it sit on something, or does it have its own feet?
Like is it on feet?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we're talking.
Yeah, it has its own feet.
Okay.
Yeah, and like if I had to do like I don't know what samples or whatever, I just wanted to tell you about the medicine because I didn't want you to be like, but I mean it's prescribed to me anyway. So.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Yeah, and I had already taken one that morning too, so it was just, I only have to take them in panic attacks, but I just had taken a lot. I don't say a lot of it. That's not bad, but I take them. Yeah, I don't take any at all unless I'm having a panic attack. And I had
it was a little bit more than usual.
Right. Just because it was just, like
Okay.
the whole anxiety of it. So
you go downstairs and you see him, and you said that he had already found a gun.
he had already been in the home, like in our home, like moving, like I say moving, like doing something, because you wouldn't have just walked in and known, hey, there's something here. You would have to go in, and most people would probably look through drawers and things like that. I don't know. I'm not making that assumption. I'm just saying he had already obtained one. So I'm kind of like, I can't speak for what, like what went on or anything. Okay.
What? Can you describe the gun for me?
So it was our black gun.
Black gun.
I don't know what make and like what the brand was or whatever.
Okay. Was it? Do you know whether it was like a revolver or like a
no automatic?
Automatic.
Yeah, like you just pull the trigger.
Okay. And is that like, and do you know the caliber? Maybe.
I think the 380 maybe
380
or 9, one of those.
Okay. So you said it was y'all's black gun. Okay. How how many guns do you guys have?
4.
4. Okay. What kind are they?
I don't know the big one that Albert has. It's kind of like an AR or something.
Okay.
And then there's the shotgun. And so 2, I think they're both 2 380.
380.
Yeah, I think it's like a 380. Like they're both 380s.
Okay. And are they both black, or like sometimes they have like the colorful one?
Yeah, mine's like a teal color.
Okay. So you have a black one and a teal one.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 I just wanted to cover that really quick. Okay. So you go downstairs. You've already obtained a gun. You think it's your black gun.
Well, no, I don't think. I saw the color black.
Okay.
So I was assuming where I told you that my mind went through that was like
That it was
our black gun.
right.
Now, at that time, I wasn't 100% if it was or not because
Mm-hmm.
there's plenty of black guns.
Sure. So tell me what happens next.
So, do you want me to go through the whole like assault again?
Well, we need to know like more specifics about it. So you said you saw him and that he had the gun and then he attacked you. How did he attack you?
I know you said you worked with like victims and stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
But hard to tell someone about people like touching me.
Sure, I get that.
And I just need to like not regret that right now. Can I get a little bit?
Like you want to take a break? Or?
I just, you're wanting me to give you like play by play basically of an assault is very hard for you to ask me to do.
Okay.
That's not like me explaining how to play a game. That's very difficult to explain what you remember.
Well, and we can take it slowly, and you can tell me what you remember, what happened, and stuff like that. You know, I want to make sure that you're okay, and I want to try and find Gannon, right?
Right.
Okay. So the more details that I have, the better it is that I'm going to be able to try and help you and to try and help Gannon. Okay.
Well, me telling you about an assault on me is not going to get like a faster result unless we like actually put some action into it, you know?
What do
Like-
you mean?
Like, I don't know, like action, is it too late to like check your body? I mean, is it
No, it's not.
like those type of things? Is that like,
It's not too late at all, actually. No, it's not. And if you want to do that, we can actually absolutely get that set up so that we can make that happen. So it's definitely not too
is
late.
it like a private like area or like how does that work?
So what it's called a SANE exam, and they're done by forensic nurses
Okay.
at the hospital.
Okay. So it's like in a actual, people
Yep.
wouldn't know that's what you're there for.
No. And so, I mean, well, obviously the nurses would,
Right.
but not like just whoever else is in the hospital.
Right.
No. And so, because it is like because it's a forensic thing and because it's part of a criminal case, you know, obviously this person who assaulted you, you know, so that we could gather evidence to make sure that, you know, when we find them that we can prosecute them and stuff like that. We would want to take you over there to the hospital and we get the forensic nurse to come and talk to you.
Okay.
And then they have paperwork to go over with you, just like any other kind of like bureaucracy or anything else like that,
Okay.
right? And they get your permission to gather that evidence from you and to do an exam. Okay. And they're all female, all the nurses.
Okay.
So, and you know, they have their process that they go through and they collect all that evidence and then that's turned over to us. So it's not too late at all to do
Okay.
that.
So that was my,
but we need to know what happened, because just like if, you know, like, and this is just like a totally off the wall example, but like if your kid comes in and tells you, hey, mommy, I'm hurt because I fell down. Well, you need to know where they fell and how they fell and whatnot so you can help them.
but that's the easy, easy thing. But when you're doing several different things in your brain, and not to mention you're being violated physically, it's hard to give that specific, you know, details. I remember the pushing me in the room. I remember when my head hit. I remember those things.
Sure. And what I'd like
I remember my clothes getting taken off.
Okay.
Okay. But I don't want to be telling this got taken off. I don't want to be on that.
And that's not what it is.
I would tell that to like a nurse, you know, in the specific, so that could assist in the process. But maybe I would. I'd say I would, but I don't know. It's just a hard thing to be like, okay, your pants is heavy, remember this, you remember that, like that.
Sure. And really, we need to know like the narrative of it, and there will be some stuff that I would ask specifics of. And if you remember, you remember, and if you don't, you don't. Or what you can say is, you know, well, I remember that, but I don't want to say.
No, I'm not trying to not tell you anything. It's just a hard process. I guess maybe I'm thinking you're asking me too much details. Maybe I'm overthinking what you're asking me. So do you want me to like I said, do a play-by-play of what I remember? Like as far as like clothing?
Like, well, just start at the beginning and tell me what happened, okay?
So, all right. So when he pushed me into the room,
okay,
I remember like a battle process of like, you know, like back and forth, you know, like that type of thing. I remember that type of thing.
Tell me more about that. The battle back and forth.
Well, with someone, he's not much bigger than me, so it's not like it was this big, powerful person that, I feel like I'm fairly kind of a little strong. So it wasn't just here, get on the ground. It was you know, like getting, like move around the room. I don't really remember like which direction.
Sure.
After I hit my head the first time, that's when it started to be a little blur into what was happening then.
Okay. So, and remind me, what was it that you remember hitting your head on that first time?
I think I want to say it was that red and black table. I'm sorry, red and blue table that was in Gannon's.
Red and blue table?
I feel like it was the red and blue table that was in Gannon's room, because I remember like going back and hit my head.
Okay. Okay. And you keep motioning back here. Did you like the back of your head?
Right, yeah. So like it was in like, well, there was a couple, like the ground was a big force, but I was also fighting back. So I don't want you to think that it would have been some sort of, and I did have like, I was gonna like show you that I did have the blood in there a little bit because from the little scratch, but I did have the ability to push back some, because he wasn't like overpowering that. It was just like, here you go. And
sure,
that sounds awful to say, but okay.
So when you got pushed into the room, and you got pushed, like you guys are doing this battle back and forth, and you hit your head, did you end up on the ground first?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't. I just remember hitting my head, and I remember the next time I hit my head, the second time that he came back after me and tried again. So there was a couple of times that I kind of was in and out of it. And so not to mention, I had taken lorazepam, a little extra than usual.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, you know, a little bit, I don't know how to say, like, I did not know, I'm not glad, but it was
sure,
kind of like being like zoned out a little bit.
Sure.
It was almost like I was out, like blacked out.
Okay.
Because it was one of those things where I could like hear what was going on, but I didn't like know what was going on, or vice versa.
What do you remember feeling?
There was not like pain as far as like your female part. I feel like the pain was on the struggle of like your body was tired.
Okay.
So like it's tired in trying to like, your brain's telling you don't give in, but your body is just in a tired mode.
Okay.
And that was, it was more of like, and I just almost, it's almost like I was giving up, but I wasn't, you know, like once we were, you know, I can't talk about it.
So are you saying like once did he penetrate you?
I remember my clothes coming off. Down my top part.
Okay.
Remember the bottom part, and I don't remember if this was the first time or on the second time, which wasn't a successful time. I remember my clothes coming off like on the bottom, and I remember having my top on.
Okay.
And I remember I was pushing like pushing back.
Sure.
And then I, like, out of my mind, it was almost like a little blur because I hit the head again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you're like trying to push up, like to push somebody off, and you get pushed back down and hit your head.
Okay.
And then it's kind of let it. Yeah, we did it. Like,
I'm not gonna. Here's the thing: is that this conversation, like what we talk about, is not. I'm not gonna run and talk to your husband about or his ex-wife or anything else like that. Okay.
I don't want to give in because I didn't agree to it, but at that point it feels like I did give in.
Okay. And thank you for telling me that. I appreciate that. When you say that you gave in and that he completed it,
I don't remember about, when I say completed, I mean as in I was able to like have that bolt of energy to like, get up again, you know. I don't know if there was like completed. I'm not want to think about that. That's disgusting.
So I'm not asking if he like ejaculated or anything else like that. That wasn't my question.
I'm sorry, that's what I thought.
So my question is, did he put his penis in your vagina?
Right, yes.
Okay. Do you know? Okay. Sorry, that question. And that was when you were on the ground? Okay. And you said that he was pushing you down. What part of your body was being pushed down?
I don't remember.
Okay. So you said that like you kind of like came back up.
At some point, I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't want to give you wrong information about step by step about my body being violated. I don't think that's fair. Like, I don't think that. And then every time I have to keep saying to you, like, if it's happening, I have to say that to you again, and I have to say that to you again. Difficult.
Okay. Was there anywhere else that you were penetrated?
No. What do you mean, like an area?
Anywhere else on your body?
With the penis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Okay. And then at some point it ended. Okay. What happened next after it ended?
So, but they didn't end at that direct moment because remember, Gannon comes in.
Okay.
Like,
tell me about that.
Gannon comes in to like jump on him.
Okay.
Like, to like kind of help me out.
Okay.
And so I don't remember anything but like laying back, and I remember that I could like hear that Gannon had came in.
Okay.
I could hear that he knew this is not what you're supposed to do.
That Gannon did?
Yeah, like Gannon was aware that someone was was trying to harm me.
Okay.
He might not have understood the complete in essence of it, but he understood someone was in our home and wasn't supposed to ignore what he was doing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I mean, our home we're very open. We're always like, we talk about like, oh, you don't have a girlfriend, you don't do this until you're married. So,
Okay.
so he's very aware of, like that's not how things happen.
Sure.
In his mind. So he came in at that point in time. And then I do remember that Gannon was like, I don't want to say thrown, but like he can't jump on a big guy. That's a big guy to him.
Mm-hmm.
5, 6, 7, 8-ish
Mm-hmm.
is a big guy to him.
Sure.
Because he's 4 or something. And I don't remember from there. I just remember that Gannon tried to jump on him, and I remember Gannon was over here at this point in time, and then it was just kind of like a blur about what happened. But I do remember after, when I say finish, I don't mean what you're asking me about exactly. And I do remember when that was like getting up,
Mm-hmm.
that it was a situation. So that was when he had the gun again, and afterwards, not necessarily at him, but had the gun and had Gannon.
Okay. Can you tell me more about that?
So I just know that in the way he had him was kind of not necessarily at like a here, or if I had like a dummy to show you, it was more of like a.
Can you have a look?
Okay. So it was more of like a just wrapped around, but like Gannon was he recognizing like the gun, he wasn't trying to at that point fight back to him.
Okay.
He was just crying like to me, like to help him.
Okay.
And so that's why I made the decision to try to send the other kids somewhere else. Because what if I would have ran for help at that point in time? I had every opportunity to run for help then.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a good enough shooter to like, or really don't, to like feel like I'm gonna shoot somebody, because I don't, what else are we gonna do? You see what I'm saying? So I'm just not, my mind wasn't thinking that of trying to create harm if I made a dumb decision.
Okay.
And that was probably where I should have done some sneaky technique of, I thought about it after. I should have like gave Lena a letter, or something like that and said, hey, go to the mailbox, take the neighbor's letter. Like, this is something I thought about after,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't think about it at the time.
Okay.
Like in the
So,
time frame.
so when you were on the ground and Gannon came in, what do you remember hearing?
Him yelling,
What was he yelling?
like he was yelling my name, like directed specifically at me, as in like,
Gannon was?
yeah, like,
What does he call you?
because, well, I just remember I told you about my name thing.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. What he
So
called you?
he was saying Tesha.
Tesha?
He was like saying, are you okay?
Okay.
And then that's when he realized that wasn't. Like, not that I wasn't, but he realized that was kind of like in and out of it.
And what were you saying?
I was like immediately like doing, the first part was, doing the first time was doing the pushback, like get off of me. So I wasn't,
said that?
but I wasn't communicating with Gannon.
Okay.
Like I wasn't saying Gannon go, do this specifically, or like I didn't say like run, go do it. I didn't say anything directly that I recall.
Okay.
Now maybe I did, but that I recall wasn't specific direction, to guide him in any direction. That was more of like a battle, like a back and forth thing instead of being. But at that point, I do remember like when I was down and you kind of get like that little concrete where your head jars back a little bit, right there, where your head jars back a little bit. It kind of made me a little like dizzy a little bit.
And was the man saying anything?
I don't remember anything but noises.
What kind of noises do you remember?
Noises?
I can't guess. That's the thing, right? So like I can't put words in your mouth. I can't guess. So I know like I'm sorry, pleasure noises.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, like pleasure noises, but like sound.
Okay. And so he's making pleasure noises, and then Gannon comes in and yells your name. What does the
I mean,
man
I don't remember specifically he just came and yelled my name or could jump first, but
Okay. What does the man do?
it was more of like a this, but he was still inside of me,
Okay.
kind of. I say kind of, but like he's moving,
Okay.
so obviously he's got to put more like force on your body.
Okay.
And that's just when I just started to cry. Because it was like a giving up, kind of like a giving up type moment.
I'm sorry that you are upset by that.
And it was just, because what, I mean, what are you supposed to do at that point?
Sure.
You can keep trying to fight, but they're already taking something from you that you only have pursued yourself.
Sure. Do you remember Gannon saying anything else other than your name?
I know he was calling help at some point, and I think that would have been when he had, I don't remember, oh gosh. I don't remember like any, anything other than, I think I feel like I remember the second, I don't remember around the second time of the battle he was saying, get off of her.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, when I tell you that, and I hope to God that you are never in that situation, but it's just almost like a blur because you're so disappointed in your, like, emotional feel, like your self-worth.
Sure.
And how you feel about yourself.
Sure.
You feel like you're nothing.
What did you smell when this was happening?
I was going to say that to you. I forgot to, like earlier, and again, you didn't ask me that because I wasn't thinking about it. I could smell like a very strong, like paint or like almost like a paint, like someone had been painting or like they were around a house that might have had the drywall. Almost like it was like a work smell.
Like you're doing this like the drywall. Are you talking about like paint or like the texture smell?
Yeah, like the powder of the drywall. You know how like you sand,
Sure.
and it has like that smell.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could smell that part on them, but I feel like at one point I thought I smelled alcohol.
Okay. And you said that your ex, Harley's dad, did drywall. So the drywall smell is something that you would be familiar with?
He would have did it a while ago.
Yeah, sure.
But I know, like, in our home and things like that, I'm pretty, I don't want to say, like, know a lot about drywall, but just from being around the work sites growing up, I say growing up with him, I was young when I was with him, I remember a lot about, like drywall in general. So,
Sure.
I don't know if it's specifically drywall. It's more of like a sandpaper-ish smell.
Okay.
Like,
Did you smell anything else? You said you smelled alcohol.
at one point, I remember smelling like not like a deep, strong alcohol smell, but I could have like a sense of alcohol, like a breath of it.
Sure.
Come on, like aroma.
Okay.
And it kind of was like I don't know, like almost like a foodish, like a salsa type smell. I remember at one point.
Okay.
Like you kind of like you walk into a restaurant and it smells like some fresh tomatoes and that.
What do you remember feeling on your back?
Just a couple of days before this, I have been having like a lot of lower back pains like already.
Mm-hmm.
So it took that like pain away. And it was almost like it was just like because I'm getting pushed back, but I'm straining. So it was almost like I felt a little bit of nerve, but I didn't feel it. Like I didn't have any, hey, there's the back pain. Oh, back to this. It wasn't like that. I knew that there was nerve being shifted or, changed in some direction.
Okay.
That it was floor. Kind of hard on the floor.
And just remind me, you went upstairs and told Lena to go away, basically, to keep her safe. And then you came back down, and that was when he had Gannon, or he had Gannon before you did that?
You mean?
Like when you said that he had his arm wrapped around?
Right. So once he had him, once I came back, because once I got up and whatever, there was a ring. Remember I told you about the motion and so he grabbed him then. He had him still when I came down, but
You grabbed him then?
right. Remember the ring is what triggered, because there was the first ring that wasn't there wasn't anybody on the ring, or there was no one there. Because I think I went up and down, or maybe I don't remember if I went up one time and down, or up one time twice. I don't remember exactly, but I remember there was 2 alerts.
Sure.
Or 2 triggers to the door.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, so 2 triggers. I feel maybe it was 2 times, because the first time there was nobody there.
Okay.
There was no. Something must have set it off. Yeah. So, and then there was Lena was the next trigger.
Okay.
But I knew the next one was Lena, because I knew the timing always perfect, and you can hear from our house when the bus hits its brakes.
Okay.
So I didn't have to go look at an app or anything with that, because I knew that, the timing was just the same as normal. That you can hear the bus is right there. You can hear, kids are on the way, like that type of thing. And
Sure.
I knew it was Lena, and that was my first thing I open up, I let Lena in, I had a conversation with her just like it was a normal day. But then that's when because I didn't want to be like, here, go. I did quickly say, here, go, whatever. But I wanted to not just open the door and be like, here, go right now.
Okay.
I had to at least make a 30-second, 1 minute, maybe I'm exaggerating 1 minute, but 30-second dialogue of here, I need you to go, no.
Okay.
Or here, go, Daddy said go ride your bike, or
Sure.
that type of thing. Because later on, I knew she was going to have to eat snack at some point, and I figured just that later on she was eating. I figured out another time she eat snack. I was worried about getting her out and about that time.
When
I'm sorry, I should have given her a note. I should have given her a note.
we don't, we don't need to go into like what you should have done or shouldn't have done or anything else like that. Things are never perfect, and we can beat ourselves up for 100 years about things we should have done. Right. Okay. So that's not. I'm not here to judge you or anything else like that. I'm here to understand what happened and try and gather as much as we can so that we can help you and we can help find Gannon. Okay. When the attack was going on downstairs, you said you got hit? Your head got hit a couple of times. Were you hit anywhere else?
Are you asking like punch or like?
Were you punched, slapped, kicked?
I don't remember that. I don't remember being hit anywhere else.
Okay. Do you have any injuries?
I don't have like any specific injuries here, because I was grabbing like this, like pushing up. Most of it was just like head, I don't want to say trauma, but head force on my head, and then the nerve in my maybe spine. That part.
Okay. And then
I did like have like a little like this, that little part like right there was like bleeding.
Okay.
And then my nails, I know they look crazy now, but they were, and then of course that was the burn mark, so that was so my nails were like that, because when I get nervous, like I don't know, or whatever. So, but that would have been from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go upstairs, tell Lena to go. and then you go back downstairs,
Right.
and he still has Gannon. What happens next?
So he still has Gannon. Hold on. Can I like be? Can I try to read?
Yeah, do what you need to do.
So like he was the first time my body, and then he has Gannon, and I don't want to make sure he's not hurt. So I go there, come back down. Oh, that's when he was asking. Well, he wasn't asking me. He was demanding different things. You know, he was demanding like I probably didn't tell you that earlier, but I do remember that now.
Okay.
He was like demanding things from me. He was demanding me that I was not to say anything, that there would be consequences. He didn't say the word there would be consequences, but it was in a louder tone of direction of saying.
What exactly did he say?
I don't remember exactly. I just remember there was some sort of, you gotta make sure you don't tell anyone at the door, you know, and I had common sense enough to know if he had Gannon and had the gun that I'm not gonna make a stupid decision. So coming back down, at that point in time, I remember being like, I don't remember if I was pleading or asking, Gannon was saying help. I didn't have a weapon. I couldn't just go grab and hurt him. So somehow, I don't remember exactly what, we end up being in it again. Like being in a commotion again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the second time that he was attempting to try. And that's when I kind of went completely a blackout. And I don't remember, you know, I remember I told you he was demanding different things, and I gave him a brown suitcase. I gave him a box that was in the room. He asked me, he demanded the brown suitcase. Oh, he didn't demand the brown one, he demanded a suitcase, and I just gave him the brown suitcase.
Okay.
And in my mind, I didn't know.
Can you describe the suitcase for me?
I don't remember. I just remember we have like 10.
Okay.
I just remember the brown.
Is it like a check bag, a carry-on bag?
Yeah, maybe like about 27 inches, maybe.
Okay.
Like,
So
you know,
it's like one you would check, not one you
No,
would carry
you
on.
can't check 27. You can only check 20, 21. So
check is the ones that like you give to them.
like that, it can't be over 21. Thinners or whatever can't be over 20. It has to be over 21. It doesn't have to be over 21 check, but if it's over 21, it can't be a carry.
Right.
So the bigger,
So it was a bigger one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I say about 27
Okay.
inches or inches or whatever. And I thought he was gonna put things in our home and like take all of our stuff and like our anything that needed. I thought he was gonna like take the gun.
What did he do with it?
And take, like I don't know. I provided what he asked for or demanded, and then we got into it again because there was yelling, and I don't remember what we were yelling about, but it was just anything I could do. If I give you this, take everything, and we just whatever, and
okay. And you said that he wanted a box.
yeah, he that was one of the things that I'm trying to remember all of it. And that's why I said I thought he was going to pack our like whatever there was in our home. Originally, I didn't think that he was in our home to take. Remember, I told you I didn't think he was in our home to take something because he was done. But at that point, I thought he was gonna like clean us out with, or I say clean us out, take whatever he could,
Like steal things.
yeah, like steal things from us because you can, if you're in Morrison Ranch and you're like, oh, I'm going to the airport, but it doesn't look like you're walking out the front door with a TV. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was my mindset of like,
Oh, so you think that he was going to, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like what you're telling me is you thought he was going to take stuff from your house and put it in suitcase in the box.
Right.
It looked like he was going to the airport.
Yeah, like,
Not like he was stealing.
yeah, and I don't want to say specifically the airport, but like it looked like to make it
travel.
Yeah, so like in my mind, I'm just thinking he's about to clean this out, but I don't really care. Take everything
Sure.
that he wants to take. That was like in my mindset. And then I remember there was like talking or yelling, or I don't remember how we got to part, the second part, but I remember he wasn't able to, And of course, between all that, I mean, I wasn't running around naked. I had to put my pants back on.
Sure.
And and that was a awful feeling. Like, I mean, it wasn't like, I just ran upstairs and I had to, like put myself back together.
What do you mean by put yourself back
Like
together?
my pants. Like I couldn't. If I would have showed up at the front door or whatever with Lena or anyone, I mean, I do like walk around in like shorts and all that. But I'm saying like it would have been, and like you say, we're not going to go on what I should have done, but it could have put off alarm to this is what you need or whatever. But this is my daughter. Is it okay if I just let her? Uncle wants me. Okay.
Sure. Do you remember? So can you describe the box for me?
Brown box.
Was it like a cardboard box?
Yeah, like
a wooden box?
Yeah,
like a metal? Like, did it have stuff in it?
Yeah. No, like there was nothing in it, but it was just a regular like shipping boxes. Like that's why, I mean, that makes common sense of I'm putting stuff in there, but he could have easily have gotten that himself, but he would have had to have let him again and go, but that was his way to have control of the situation.
Sure. And where was that box at before you got it?
In our storage room.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that where the suitcase was as well, or?
Yeah, I got the suitcase and the box, and I was saying things because I did think he was going to rob us. Like I say, like take all of our stuff, and I started out with being upset about being robbed, but then it was like take anything you want.
Mm-hmm. It sounds really scary.
Yeah, it definitely is, because in my mind I'm like, but I knew if I'm given into the situation, then I can get what I would expect the result out of it, which would have been that everybody would have been safe, and he's going to get what he wants. And their intention was he saw someone that he wanted to take advantage of.
So you give him the stuff. There's another altercation, and you said he couldn't, and you kind of trailed off.
Yeah, like he couldn't at that point in time, like take my pants back off. Like it wasn't like the first time. Okay. Because I was more of in a like lackadaisical thing at that point, because once we were when I hit my head the next time on the thing, I think that hit some sort of spot that I don't really remember after that. Like,
where was Gannon when that?
I don't really remember after that. That's where it kind of was. Everything from then was a blur, and so it was me telling you that was like, what do you mean you don't know what happened after that? And no one's going to, understand that unless they're there in that moment. I don't remember.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I have to ask the questions, right? Because if I don't ask the questions, then somebody later is going to be like, well, what happened? What happened next? Where was he? And I can't say, well, I didn't ask, right? Like I have to ask the question.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I wasn't. Yeah, I was just saying, like in general, not specifically.
Right. So if I ask a question, I'm not trying to make you feel bad or anything else like that. I'm just trying to understand and make sure that we cover everything.
Right.
Okay. So you say that you hit your head again. You kind of don't know what happened next. Do you remember, or I guess, can you tell me how this ended?
I just remember being out of it, but I could also, in my mind, like I could hear, you know, like loud banging, you know, but I don't remember, I couldn't see, you know, like what was going on or anything like that. I just, almost like I could hear a little bit of a struggle, but I don't know what was going on.
Okay.
And that for me is hard because I need to know, like, and I hope that cause like dreams, I'm like, maybe I'll dream and remember what was going on, or maybe I'll have like a recollection later of, oh yeah, I remember this, but I clearly have been pounding my brain to give it to you about like exactly what was happening.
Sure.
At that point in time.
What's the first thing you remember after this incident, after the attack, the second attack?
I just remember being like, where's Gannon? And I just freaking out because I didn't know where he was at.
Okay.
And I didn't see anything that would have told me. And I thought he was hiding.
Okay.
Like I thought maybe he was in the closet or, you know, somewhere hiding so that he knew, you know, like he would be okay, like away or whatever. I thought he was hiding.
Okay. What was the first thing you did after this happened?
I was calling his name because I did think he was hiding.
Okay.
And at that point in time, once I realized that he wasn't hiding, I went into that mode of like, okay, I'm gonna fix this.
Help me understand how you understood that he wasn't hiding.
Well, because if I am saying to him that I assumed that everything was, I didn't see the guy in my like sight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that he was hiding, you know, like in my mind. So like I didn't see the guy, so I'm assuming he's hiding. So then I'm asking him, you know, like, Gannon, where are you? Gannon, I'm assuming he's hiding. So then I'm asking him, you know, like, Gannon, where are you? Gannon.
So maybe he was in the closet or, you know, somewhere hiding so that he knew, you know, like he would be okay, like away or whatever. I thought he was hiding.
Okay. What was the first thing you did after this happened?
I was calling his name because I did think he was hiding.
Okay.
And at that point in time, once I realized that he wasn't hiding, I went into that mode of like, okay, I'm fixed.
Help me understand how you understood that he wasn't hiding.
Well, because if I am saying to him that everything, that I assumed that everything was, I didn't see the guy in my like sight, I'm assuming that he was hiding, you know, like in my mind. So like I didn't see the guy, so I'm assuming he's hiding. So then I'm asking him, you know, like, Gannon, where are you? Gannon, where are you?
Okay.
So then when I realized Gannon would come out, or again, I can't say we do different things at different times, but if Gannon thought it was safe, he'd come out. So then, in my mind, to be honest with you, when I said I'm gonna fix this, I thought Gannon was still hiding. So when the detective searched the home, I really was hoping that's what was going to happen, and he had been scared to come out because he didn't know if it was safe. Or maybe if he was like, you know, had hit his head or something after what I don't remember, but he could have been, you know, hiding and maybe got, I don't know. I don't want to make assumption of how he could have maybe not been aware or alert. I think my thought process was when the guy said he was going to search the house, that I was going to find him. Like, we'd find him, that's when it really set in that I didn't know where Gannon was at.
Has Gannon ever hid in the house before?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, they play little, like, back and forth of, like, you know, like, hide behind the sofa or, like, boom. But it's only, like, you know, a little bit of time. But we don't have, like, a violence of, you know, him seeing another man hurting someone. So I would think in that moment he would have been hyped.
Okay.
But he wasn't, prone to be like, I'm going to hide out. But his personality is very mellow in like actually getting along with people and that type of thing. So
Yeah, I think that somebody had talked to the school and like they had said that he was pretty laid back and quiet.
Right. And that would have been, my thought. Again, Gannon wasn't on his medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a different, the way he acts is differently than when he isn't.
Sure.
So he would be a more hyper, so that's why I would have expected, that he would have come right out. But then, on his medicine, he'd been like zoned out, knew how to make decisions correctly, because he would have been, just like that. When he takes it, give it to him, he can't do any schoolwork like he has medicine.
Okay.
Like, reading off everywhere. So my mind was thinking he didn't take his medicine, so.
What's his behavior like when he doesn't take his medicine?
It's not bad. Like, it used to be where you couldn't get him to focus on anything. Mm-hmm. Like, if you went to church, you could not sit in church without electronics. And I know that might have been a little bit willful, but it was, you needed something to have that attention. But for ADHD, you needed something to have that on. So without his medicine, he could, and like on the hike, he might run way up there, and then we take up, because like that much energy.
Okay. And is that what it was like on Sunday?
You mean at the hike? Yeah. It was like he had the burst of energy, but then his stomach, when his stomach got hurt, he didn't stand. Mm-hmm. That's when he took more of he was able to control it because he was focusing on his obsessions on cleaning his body. Okay. Imagine like walking around.
Sure. That would be uncomfortable for
right.
pretty much anybody, I think. Okay. Mm-hmm. What happened to the gun?
So the gun. This is how I knew. I didn't know in the time that the gun was out. I didn't know the time of the gun. I just assumed the black color that it was. Mm-hmm. So remember, I said that I put the stuff back in the closet. I put everything back the way it was because obviously at that time I had told them what had happened because I was in that mentality of I'm going to fix it. So I put everything back in the position that it was, and he did not take the gun. Or he couldn't have because the gun when I left it would have been upstairs. But I didn't bring it downstairs, but that was our gun. So that's how I knew for a fact that he had to have our gun, or either he had it in the process of stealing it and somehow it fell and he maybe had another gun. I'm not sure about that part, but I do know that I put it back in it.
So where did you find your gun?
Correct. My gun or
after it was over and you said you were putting everything back where it belonged?
Yeah.
Where was it whenever you found it to put it away?
So like at the carpet, because the carpet roll piece had like fallen off, so it was at the carpet.
Okay. And you said the carpet was kind of
like leaned in,
but kind of had fell over coming out of that storage area.
Right. So it was like, I want to say it was in like pieces. I want to say it was
the carpet or the gun?
No. I want to say that the carpet had like, not necessarily multiple pieces, but I remember like maybe different directions. I don't remember, but I feel like I saw different directions.
Okay.
But yeah, it had fallen over, but the gun was there. I didn't see where Gannon was at. That's why I assumed in the situation that he was hiding.
Okay.
I didn't think that there was a concern, at the time that,
Okay. Describe for me what Gannon's room looks like after this happened.
I just remember putting things back together. Like, I say back together, but like, I remember I had already like straightened out his room from before, because when he had the like burns and stuff. And I do remember Gannon was, I do remember Gannon was bleeding. And I think from the hospital could have been something with his arm.
Okay.
But I do remember he was, like, he did have, like, blood and stuff like that. I do remember at some point that he was bleeding. I want to say, I remember he was on, not just on me. I feel like at some point in that, and it might have, when the first time he might have, like, landed on me, or somehow I was, like, holding him, not just like holding him, but I feel like he was there.
Okay. Okay.
So I had that, like knew he was here, but yeah, I was still, taken advantage of.
Okay.
And so yeah, back to what you said about the ring. So I put, like, everything, back in its order. I want to say that it might have been 15 minutes or 20 minutes. I don't know. It would have had to been, so it probably would have gotten off at 4:30. It might have even been a little bit longer that I remember being out of it. And the reason why is just the time frame.
Okay. And the this all happened on Monday, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I had it all right. So you put this stuff back together. You found the gun on the floor next to the carpet that had fallen over. Where did you put the gun?
I took everything and put it back. 'Cause when I had to tell, like, Albert, that was the first question that he asked, was like, where are all the guns? Are they all here? That type of thing. So I put them all back together.
Okay. And I don't live in your house, so I don't know where it all back together is. So where are the guns typically stored?
Either in that shelf that I was telling you about.
The silver one?
Right. Or in the closet.
Okay. And so
I put the other guns were never, like, had never been touched until you guys.
I haven't seen you.
Well, you're the person.
Okay.
So they were already in the closet, but the handguns usually are in different sections, which would be accessible in case of emergency. You don't need the shotguns to be that accessible. So I put my handgun was already in its safe.
Your steel one?
My handgun was already like in its place completely. I mean, I don't know if it was in the exact same location, but my handgun was present.
Okay. Where was it at?
In what you just told me.
Yeah.
So everything was already there. I say gun. When I tell you put the guns back in their place, there wasn't multiple out in different places. I just want to make sure you know that it was.
Sure.
It was. I put that gun back with its partner gun.
Okay.
To make sure it was in the same position.
So you put the black handgun into the silver armoire thing, chest thing, with your teal handgun.
Right. In the same chest.
Okay. And have they been moved since then?
Well, Albert took them.
Albert took both of them?
Mm-hmm. He made me give him mine too.
When was that?
Today.
Today?
Yeah. So like he took all of them when you guys, I'm sorry, when in your department, I guess they went through my closet or whatever.
Okay.
They still left the guns in the closet, but they weren't in the same place that they were.
Sure.
And so Albert took all them too because he was like, oh, well, I don't want you to harm yourself and things like that. So he was saying those things to me, so he took them all and he made me give him mine as well.
And that was today?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a history of trying to harm yourself?
No. Say things like, he tried to say something about, like, I'll grab a knife. That is not true. I do not do that. Like, I have never done anything like that in my entire life. Never received any kind of counseling or anything prior to anything like that, disturbing, nothing like that. So there would be no, reason. And right there in the beginning, that mental health thing, I've always tried to put a blocker up because I know that, things in your life can cause a problem. And I just never did anything like that. Like, I might be like, I was raised in the country, so it might be like someone says something, that's a funny thing, like, you know, watch out, you know, like that type.
Sure, yeah.
But not anything that would have been like, I'm going to cut myself and
Okay.
harm myself. He was, you know, like in his military mode, protection mode. And,
Well, he cares about you. That's good, right?
he wanted to just take everything away.
Okay.
From there, so.
Okay.
He was like, I don't want you to hurt yourself. And I was like, what?
So I just want to kind of like sum up what I think about, or what I kind of know generally about what happened on Monday. Okay. So Albert didn't go to school that day, or not Albert. I apologize. Gannon didn't go to school that day because he was not feeling well and because you guys wanted to get the carpet fixed. Right. You went to the new build area and you met Eduardo. And you arranged for him to come over to your house while you were gone to work on replacing that piece of carpet for you.
He said, come over to my house while I was going to work on replacing that carpet.
Yeah. You gave him the garage code and stuff so he could come in and
But she said I was gone when we replaced the carpet. Well, I was on shopping while he was
gonna do the carpet.
Okay, I thought you said it. I was making sure that you hadn't twisted the way I said it.
And that's exactly right. I want to make sure that nothing's twisted.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were gonna go to Petco, do some running.
I didn't set out to go pick us out to go shopping to get dogs some new.
Yeah.
Just have to do that.
Yeah. So you were gonna go do some shopping, and he was gonna go fix the carpet. You left the house around 10:30-ish, 10:30-ish, and then you go. There's at some point you got gas. You went to Petco twice.
And I said Starbucks earlier, but it was actually Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay. Coffee. Yeah. Dunkin' Donuts, maybe. Okay. And then you get home about 2:30. 2:30. You come in, and you said you wanted to listen to your music and work out.
Yeah, I was in the kind of like donut mode, not in the remembering, oh my gosh, it's going to fix something.
Okay. And then sometime between that 2:30 or after you got home at that 2:30 time frame, you were getting your headphones, putting your headphones on, music, zone out, whatever else you thought you heard something. You went downstairs, and that was when this attack happened. And then what time does Lena come home from the school bus?
It depends. They change the school hours. It could be anywhere between 3:15 and 3:30.
Okay.
Depending on.
So 3:15, 3:30 is the typical time Lena comes home. You don't want her to be in danger, so you send her out to go ride her bike and check the mail. And you go back down. Another altercation happens. And whenever the next thing you remember is that you kind of come to and Gannon is missing.
Right.
Okay. So, and that was probably like around 4 o'clock. Rough estimate.
Yeah, because it would have been, or it could have been 4:30. But it wouldn't have been after 4:45 because let's see, Hollywood took 30 minutes to get home, so she hadn't got home. Lena was still riding the bike or out and about. Yeah, it had to be 4-ish.
Okay.
4:15, no later, like I said, than 4:45, because that would have been, probably would have been already like on her way home.
I think I have a pretty good idea.
I'm pretty sure that was exactly right.
Okay.
Because I think I told, yeah, because then I sent Harley and Lena to Dot Street. Yeah. Yeah, so Harley would have to drive Lena.
What is the, you have an alarm on your house? What company do you use for that?
ADT.
ADT? Okay, so write that down. And you have the same, is the passcode for the ADT stuff the same as like your garage door code and stuff like that, or?
Like, you mean like the login?
Like when you go in to disarm the...
Oh, yeah. No. It's different because the alarm is Gannon's birthday.
Jan's birthday?
Yeah.
Okay. 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 I'm gonna take a break. If you need to use the restroom.
No, but I really need to. I haven't showered and haven't eaten, and I'm just getting tired.
Okay.
So,
Okay. All right. And we had talked earlier about whether or not it would be able to take action at this point, as far as like gathering evidence and stuff like that. With whether it had been too long, and I told you that it wasn't. Is it something that you're willing to do?
right, yes, just I would do anything for you to figure out who Eduardo is and make sure that.
Okay. And it's perfect that
I found you to say to make sure that I could just like.
Okay. What pants were you wearing when all this happened?
There was a set of like clothing, and I had like washed the stuff like you and I.
Sure. I get it.
I had taken some of the stuff or whatever, but I put it with all the stuff that like I had washed and stuff like that. I don't remember if it was the black and purple or the black and blue, but it was like sporting athletic pants. They were on my chair when I went home last night.
Were they like leggings or joggers or?
Yeah, they were like kind of like this.
Like
Yeah. Like, well, but more of the nylon-ish material.
Okay. So they were like black and maybe purple or blue.
Yeah, it was one that I wear like a lot of Nike and stuff like that. So it was one of those.
Okay. And you didn't give them the alarm code, right? You just gave them the garage code.
Yeah, because you don't have to have like the alarm code to come in the house.
Okay.
You have to have, and that's assuming that I even set the alarm. I mean, I may or may have not. I mean, typically I try to log into my phone and do it if I forget. That's just assuming if I had, whether I had or not set the alarm, but I'm pretty positive. I don't say positive. I'm certain that I had set the alarm.
Sure.
But it doesn't have a sensor on the door. Like
Are you able to see if you log into your alarm account whether or not it was alarmed at that time?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to show you, but I couldn't serve it.
Okay. Okay. You might need to like plug into the Wi-Fi or something like that.
Yeah.
To do that. And there's open Wi-Fi. It's like EPC. Yeah. It doesn't require a password or anything like that. If you want to do that, can you use the restroom or anything like that?
No, I'm actually. Am I like free to leave or?
We're not holding you here. We'd like to get you over to the hospital for that.
I would totally do that, but I really am. I just want to get some food and take a minute, and I can drive myself to the hospital. I don't want to feel like I'm some, person they're going to look at differently because I am showing up with, seeing some people, and that's why I asked you where the secret, like where people would know, because I understand you have a goal and a purpose, and that is our common purpose to have done here.
Mm-hmm.
But I also am thinking about how emotionally.
Yeah, and I get that. And so I will tell you that if we drive you over there, we don't go in the front. We go in a back way. So you wouldn't be seen by the general public or anything like that. And obviously we're not in like uniforms. Everything is concealed, all that other stuff. So it's not like we walk in with a scarlet letter or anything else like that. So, okay. Let me go check on a couple of things really quick, and then be right back. Okay?
Okay, you said I was free to go.
Are you wanting to leave right now?
I'm really hungry. I'm thirsty. Look at my lips. They're chapped.
Okay.
They're like really bad.
Okay.
I mean, you guys know it's not like I don't answer or talk to you or anything like that.
Okay.
I've kept some communication with you.
Okay. Can you give me just a few minutes to just check to make sure that I've covered everything that I need to cover, and then I'll come back in?
She said that I would be able to go. Like, she didn't say I would be. Like, I'm sure I've been here hours, and she said specifically that I would be able to go.
And I'm not saying that you can't. I'm asking if you can give me a few minutes.
I think if you can just call me, or I mean, I still have, like, you know, I have to maintain my mental health in this whole situation, and that's very important. You know, and I just want to go. My lips are burning, and I want to take a shower. I mean, look at my fingers and all those things.
Right. So it would be better to get the forensic
I'm
exam
not going over there like
before you
not
take a shower.
not like things. I'm not doing like as in shades and things like that. I'm not doing that. I haven't showered in 2 days. I like that. That's disgusting. I'm not doing that. But I will gladly go.
Well, I mean, if you're saying you want to go take a shower before you go get the
No,
exam
I
done?
didn't say I was going to go take a shower. I said I need some time to just rest. I'm exhausted. I want to take a shower. My hair is nasty, and I'm not going over there like dirty, smelling for someone to.
But you realize that's how we gather evidence, right? So if you go take a shower right now, and I understand that you're like uncomfortable, right? And that you want to take a shower,
Right.
So that's why I would like to get you over to the hospital to get the exam done.
Okay, well, then I'm driving myself there because I'm not getting escorted to an exam when I'm already going through a difficult time with having someone violate my body to whether you go in the front or the back. I mean, am I not allowed to take myself there?
I didn't say that at all. I'm trying to figure out, and I'm trying to impress upon you, like, if you go take a shower, then you wash away the evidence.
I don't understand. I just said,
And you said you weren't going to go over there while you're.
yeah, I don't want to go dirty. I can at least go freshen up or something. Like I'm.
Okay. All right. I'll be right back.
Okay, so you tell me how to leave?
Please. I have to go over here. Let me get somebody to escort you out.
Okay. Oh, hi. Said that I could go.
Well, can you talk to me about what?
Then you told me I could.
I know, but I'm left.
I understand that.
I just want to get the fill in. So I have a couple questions about Sunday, if you're okay filling that in. I know you're tired.
I'm tired. And I said that I could. So I just want to take a break. That's all I'm asking for.
Where do you want to
That means I want to go to rest. Like she said, I could drive myself to the hospital. So I just don't want.
What do we need to go to the hospital for?
Am I able
okay?
to just go? I mean, what do you mean? Am I okay?
If I'm hearing about a hospital, I mean, what's going on with that?
This is why this is frustrating because I've already shared information that you guys can fully like watch and see, and you can know why I'm going to the hospital because she wants to get DNA, or to have your body checked for right.
Were you touched for the posting? When did that happen?
It happened on Monday.
On Monday? What?
I can't right now go through it again. I can't.
Okay. So let me make sure that we've got everything lined up for a singing exam. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, she's gonna do that, and I'm gonna just take a break. I want to get food. Look at my lips. So chapped. I haven't.
You want some food?
I know.
What do you want to eat?
She just said I could be escorted out.
Okay.
And I promise you have my number. I haven't not.
You're done with all that?
Right, I haven't not communicated with you. I have been.
Are you done with that cook?
Nothing but. Can I not take it?
You can if you want. I just didn't know if you were done with it. We recycle them too. So
Okay.
okay. Hang tight for me just real quick. Let me make sure that she doesn't have any other questions because she finished what we just said. I get that. But just let me double check with her.
She said I could go. That she
finished up the interview. I don't know.
holding me here.
I'm not holding
Okay,
you.
so can someone walk me out?
You want to go? You want to leave?
I will clearly answer your questions. I just want to take a break. Like I've literally followed all your
Where do you want to go for your break?
I want to see my child. I want to get lunch with her.
Well, I'm more than happy to get you lunch or to bring your daughter here or whatever needs to happen. I'm not saying that you can't leave, but I would like to finish up this conversation with you. There's a couple of questions about Sunday that I have, and this is the first time that I'm hearing that you're sexually assaulted.
You go stand right.
That would be, well, you came towards the door, so open the door. If you would like to have a conversation in the room, we can. It's up to you. But like I said, I missed out on a bunch. So
I'm not being able to just go and chill out.
doing this is in Grace. Where do you want to go?
So am I not allowed to? I'm clearly asking the question.
Well, I'm trying. So I guess our communication isn't the greatest at this point in time. Are you wanting to leave the office to go get something?
Right. Yes. I clearly you have my number. I'm not gonna not answer you for anything. I'm gonna answer you.
My name's Baseball. How are you? Good. Good. So,
Yes.
let me talk to you.
Man, I just want to get directions.
I did. And so, once again, we're back in the interview room.
Okay.
We're on camera. Mitch Mahalto, in terms of the investigation section. Okay. So at this point in time, we were just a step outside and tell me if I'm wrong. That you decided that you wish to leave and that there's no problem with that. I asked if
You didn't ask. You took.
at that point in time, you really me.
You didn't relinquish the phone. You took.
I took the phone and I told you that we would be applying for a search warrant.
You said applying. I'm not going anywhere. I literally just need directions. I mean, I have family numbers in there I don't have.
You're going to be applying for a search warrant. Is that understood?
I'm going to ask you one favor. You let me find out, or you show me something that you can legally take my phone and you don't have a search warrant yet. You show me that. Can you show me that? Can you show me that?
We're being video recorded.
I understand, but can you show me that, sir? Because that feels like that's kind of a little unconstitutional.
And if that's the case, that can be something that you can bring up.
No, that sounds
At this point,
unconstitutional.
we're going to go ahead and hold on to this phone.
That's unconstitutional. Can I use another phone to call the attorney? That is unconstitutional.
There are multiple phones here. So,
I'm not hiding anything from you. I just want directions. I want to be able to call my family. No, you don't understand. No, you don't. You are doing something that's unconstitutional. You need a warrant tactic. Thank you.
So we're going to hold on to this. We are applying.
Why? You don't even have a warrant yet. I just want directions. I want to
get right directions.
I don't know. I want to be. Oh, wow. That's all. That's all I want. That's the call. You can. It's not about the phone or the number. That's the call.
So, teacher, at this point,
We've got you for false reporting. At this point, we're going to be held so we can do a search warrant. Okay. Okay. So we're going to hold you here until we get that search.
Do I have to sit in the room?
Yes.
Do I have to like stay with the door? I mean, I've been shut up in here, ma'am, and I've been nothing but respectful to you.
sure. And I'm.
And I just, it's your, can I speak to you too? I don't care that you had the phone. You took it out of my hand, and that was very disrespectful. If you would have just asked me for it, I would have given that to you. I would have been sure. But it was the way that you did it. Okay, so that was my thing with you on that. And then all I'm saying is, we'll have to be trapped in a room.
So, Lisa, I understand that, and I hear what you're saying. You're not feeling disrespected about the phone being taken, and that was disrespect.
Okay.
Right?
And
And I'm sure that
understand.
I'm not letting him speak right now, but I'm sure if I did, he would say that he is sorry for making you feel disrespected.
That's fine.
Okay. At this point, I'm being told that you have to stay, and this is where we have to keep you. Okay. This is going to be the most comfortable environment.
Okay.
Okay. It's like there's a couch and whatever else. Our other interview room.
What was he saying? Payload for what now?
Getting search warrant.
We're getting drunk before the phone.
For you.
For me, what is needed?
Because you've given us multiple different stories.
Oh, you're talking about like the thing you stuck on it.
Yep.
Oh, I was like, okay, I got it. I see what you're saying. I got it.
Because at this point you have evidence potentially on your body.
I got it.
Right?
I'm sorry. I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Can I at least like go to the bathroom and like
No.
wipe off? Nothing. I can't see nothing.
Well, I can tell you that a forensic nurse examiner is constant to.
So, yeah.
We're not telling you can't go to the bathroom. Okay. What we're telling you is that you can't go into the bathroom.
No, I had to like
Hold up. Hold up. And I've offered you the opportunity multiple times to go to the bathroom.
I know, but I wanted to confess.
Okay. So here's the thing. Okay.
You can take whatever you want from it.
Right. We're not saying that you can't go urinate or defecate if that's what you need to do.
Okay.
What we're telling you that we can't allow to have happen is you go in there and get paper towels and begin wiping possible evidence off of your body.
Do you want to watch it?
We will get back with you and we'll get you to the bathroom here in just a minute.
Okay.
Okay?
So just have a seat for us and we'll be back with you.
Can you just watch me? What about like the older drinks or something? I don't know. Hot meal? Mm-hmm.
So you need a colder bottle of water or a Gatorade.
Are you taking my drink? What in the world? Am I able to make a phone call? Can I make a phone call? You said I could use the phone.
Yeah. I told you I'm going to do that. We're not asking questions.
I'm not allowed to make a phone call. I have a right to make a
Okay, so things have changed since I made that statement to you.
What?
Okay, and so that is at this point in time,
I just want to know why.
you're no longer. Please let me explain to you.
I'm sorry.
Things have changed. Initially, you were free to leave.
Right.
And, you could stop answering questions
Right.
whenever you wish, et cetera, et cetera. Now,
Okay.
through the course of the investigation, we have reason to believe that you potentially have evidence on your body, and we're applying for a search warrant.
So basically, that's what it was.
You're
You
not
want to escort me there.
free to leave.
Didn't want to be escorted to the basically. I'm not stupid. I'm very.
We know you are. We know you're very educated. So, and as somebody who's very educated, we're trying to get you to cooperate with it.
So we are going to apply for the search warrant.
I know. I said since you just take me over there.
Here's the thing. Because you've already said that you didn't want us to do that, now we have to go through the process of getting a search warrant because you've already declined that
I
option.
understand.
So it's going to take a little bit longer.
Okay.
And right now I need you to have a seat on the couch.
But I cannot call him back. Can you call him?
Right now you're being held.
Okay. Can you do those questions then while we're the time? Or you said something about you had questions.
You've already asked for an attorney.
No,
I was out in the hallway. You said, do I need to call an attorney? I'd like to make a phone call and all that stuff. So here's the thing. I don't want to get into all of that. Any other questions? Because you've already said.
I was saying for attorney to ask them
I know. And the thing is, I do not want it to be misinterpreted in any way, shape, or form.
right.
Okay? So we're going to hold off right now.
So you're saying you don't have those questions to ask me while we were sitting
Not at this point in time. Okay? If something changes, I will let you know.
Right.